So funny, I'm doing Saturday Night Live, I believe. You know, when I say I believe, I mean, I want to see the material.
Right.
So you're going to leave yourself open to where you can not do it if you don't like it?
I've discussed that with them.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
But they won't even be ready to do that until the week of, right?
Yeah, next week they'll send something over. And it's, Richard must be out of his mind. Richard Christie sent me a memo saying he has an idea for a sketch, but I don't get the sketch. Hey, Howard, I had an idea for Saturday Night Live. You play Spock in a Star Trek scene with Robin as Uhura, William Shatner as Kirk, and George Takei as Sulu. In the skit, the crew of the Enterprise is defending a satellite from the Klingons, or maybe the FCC. At the end, after the crew successfully defends the satellite, Robin, Uhura, would lean in to kiss Howard, Spock, but Howard pushes her away and kisses George Takei. That's the worst sketch I ever heard.
That's a typical Richard script,
and it ends gay.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, but that's a shock ending. Like, people will be so surprised.
Dude, when do you see something like that on Saturday Night Live?
That's the thing. Like, this would be the first gay kiss on Saturday Night Live.
They've done gay kiss. Alec Baldwin did it with Adam Sandler or something.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Canteen Boy.
You don't want Howard to gay kiss anybody.
That's the image.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, you're wanting to tie in so I was thinking that's kind of a fun
Why does it have to be gay,
Why does
though?
it have to be Gay Howard on SNL? That's what they're going to see. It's not going to compel people
and I'm
to
Spock?
purchase anything.
Yeah.
It's dated anyway.
It's not even good, man. Surprised.
I have the best Saturday Night Live sketch for you ever.
All right, let me hear it.
You go on dressed as Jackie Martling.
Go ahead.
And you just do Jackie selling satellite.
Right.
Like the way
Sal, look at me very carefully because you're very demented. Number one, the Saturday Night Live audience
This is Jackie Martling.
isn't into Jackie Martling. They're not going to understand that.
But your fans will.
Yeah, my fans will, but it's got to be a... Are you insane?
Yeah.
This guy's nuts. You got to hear this. You got to hear this.
He is crazy.
I'm
convinced.
I get about 10,000 email from the guys every night. You know, that's how we work. We write back and forth to each other ideas and stuff, and it works pretty well for us. I get a personal email from Sal last night.
Uh-oh.
All right, personal. Just addressed to me. What?
It's already trouble.
Let me tell you.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guess.
He wants to know if you're going to the party.
Right. So there's a K-Rock Christmas party tonight. He writes, Howard, are you going to the Christmas party tonight? Because if you're not going, I'm not going to go. And, I mean, I wouldn't even bother answering this guy.
Can I tell you why, please?
You know what, Howard?
Because Craig, wait, look, Craig, I never got the email about the Christmas party, so I was told yesterday.
Listen to me. Look at me carefully. Go get your own life. I got a life.
You know, Howard, he hit me first thing this morning, 5:45. Hey, Gary, do you know if Howard's going to the Christmas party? First he goes, are you going to the Christmas party? I said, no, it's my son's birthday.
Right.
Hey, do you know, is Howard going to the Christmas party? I said, I have no idea. Never mentions to me that he wrote this to you already. And I said to him, Sal, whether Howard and I are going should have no bearing on whether you're going.
Do you want to go to the Christmas party?
Right.
If you go.
Exactly.
But what is that?
Why not?
Why are you going if I go? I don't want. If I go, I don't even want to see you.
When you worked at your other company, did you do things because another person was going, or were you your own guy?
Like if I can't talk.
Why do you want to wait?
I want to tell you why.
Why do you want to go if I go?
Because
what's going to happen if I go?
You're stressed out over the move. I'm stressed out over the move.
What's that got to do with anything?
Go ahead.
Can I do this without this? You're stressed out. I'm stressed out. We're working together to make an incredible entity, and we can have a few drinks, have a few laughs. We can both unload together and just have
unload.
And just have fun. I mean,
we can both run off about it.
Howard, have you ever said to a friend, hey, you doing this tonight? Because if you're not, I'm not. That's what I did.
You're not my friend.
I'm trying to be your friend. We're friends.
I'm not your friend.
You keep trying, and he keeps not responding.
I'm not. How am I your friend? How am I your friend?
Well,
on what planet am I your friend?
We talk a little bit.
We talk at work.
Yeah,
we work together.
Right. It's nice to take it out of the workplace.
How come you don't do this with anyone else here? You have yet to ask me to go out to dinner.
You didn't ask me if I was going.
You really need an answer to that question?
No. What about Robin? Or Artie?
Wait a second. Look at me.
Yes.
Everyone here is under the same stress. We're all moving to a new place.
Right.
So if I'm under stress and you're under stress and we should have, why don't you want to have, if you want to be under stress with Fred and Artie and Robin?
I do. Well, okay, I have lunches with Artie all the time, which are great. I have go out with Richard all the time. I've been
so
to
why so lean on them. Why do you have to lean on them?
Because you're the only one left.
That's not true. You skip me, you skip Fred, you skip Robin. You skip Jason, you skip Will, you skipped all the ones.
They all are under the same stress.
Listen to me.
When's the last time you went to dinner with Scott the engineer?
He's under stress. All his hair
He should be under a truck. Howard, my point is that
why
it's just nice.
But why couldn't you spend it with other people?
Don't deflect away from the fact that you want. It's all about what you and Howard.
Hey, I got something.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
I got something about Sal.
Well, hold on.
From last
I admire
night.
Howard, and when Howard's at the party, it's comforting. It's like being with your parents without speaking.
I think that's what John Hinckley said right before.
Don't make those references.
You know what, man?
Don't make these references.
You are
I hate
out of your effing
You see,
mind.
what bothers me is this fantasy. He's already got in his mind of how it is with you.
That's what's weird.
It's comforting.
Robert's right. He's already. There's a scenario that he's in.
He thinks
that
I'm
you don't
going
know
to show
about.
up at the party. I'm going to see Sal there. We're going to have a few drinks.
Right.
We're going to hang out all night. We'll only have eyes for each other.
Right.
And I'll ignore everyone else.
Yeah, it's called a date.
Then you go back to your apartment.
Yeah, but my point is,
Listen to me.
a man who's sitting around making up pictures in his head of a movie that you and he are starring in is sick.
Right.
No kidding.
Well said, Robin.
Okay. When you said
Where's your copy of Catcher in the Rye?
I never read it.
Never read it. Good. Thank God.
I was bad at it. I'm bad at
Star 80.
What'd you say?
I own 20 copies of Star 80.
That was a good movie, especially with the rifle in the end.
Hey, Howard. Yesterday, I was at In Demand, and they were asking if me and Sal were coming to their Christmas party. And I was on the phone with Sal to ask him. He said, "Is Howard going?"
Oh,
I
my
said,
God.
Listen to me.
I don't know. I don't think so. And he said, "No, then count me out."
Please don't look at it as
Dude,
strange. I just admire your company. That's all. I'm just
You
trying
admire my company?
Yes, I mean,
how would you know you've never been in it?
Well, listen, the only time I feel at peace is when I'm here working with you. So if I go to a party, I'm not happy unless you're there.
Dude.
But he's so
Dude, that's how you talk about a love.
John Hinckley Jr.
I'm not in love with you.
That's love.
Listen to me.
The only time you're at peace is when you're with me?
That's love.
But he's
You're right.
not, though.
Well,
he's
listen.
always nervous around you. He shakes and stuff around you. He doesn't seem at peace.
That's how people talk about Jesus.
You're Jesus to me.
All right.
Well, listen to me.
I don't want to be with you then.
All right, don't be with me. But I heard you yesterday.
Here's what's going on
You're
with
in
the
New
party.
Orleans with Vinny. Vinny.
Again, I'm so jealous.
Hold on.
Wasn't I there?
You had a great time.
I love Vinny.
And I love Vinny, too. And you had a great time with Vinny.
Right.
And you're drinking and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking to myself, hey, tomorrow maybe I could be the Vinny in Howard's life. I could be the guy.
No, it's not going to happen.
Like, coincidentally.
I avoid you like the plague. It's never going to happen.
All right,
You're the Vinny.
I'm sorry that I find you interesting. I'm sorry.
Here's Vinny.
I'm a gay
Here's
stalker. You know, now I'm the gay stalker.
You're a gay stalker.
No, I'm not. I just admire.
Have you said, here I am, the gay stalker.
Have you ever thought about what Howard looks like naked?
No,
Like wondered?
no, I don't think about
That's
it.
a lie.
No, I don't think about those things. But I thought about you being at the party. We'll have a couple of laughs. We'll talk about the move. We'll talk about ideas. I got a whole bunch of my boots. We could go to the boots. That'd be great.
The ultimate night for you would be, you're still back to the old night. You would love to just go up to the apartment, hang out, throw back a couple of beers, have a hamburger, and hang. That's a great night. That's an ultimate night for you?
Isn't that technically
On a Wednesday night?
great night with any friend?
Well, yeah, so why
He's
can't I
not
be with
your
somebody
friend.
else then?
Who else is there?
But wait a
Who
minute,
else?
hold it, Sal.
Who
you
else
have a
is
friendship.
Yeah, well,
Sal, who else is there?
Who else? Who's going to do?
Who else is worthy of Sal's friendship?
Right.
No, wait a minute. No, I mean,
Sal, I love you, man, but you're sounding sick by saying who else is there.
I mean,
Come on.
I don't mean who. If there's Howard, who else is there? That's my point. You know what I'm saying? If you go to a brothel, you're going to pick the fat, ugly, toothless girl, or you're going to pick the supermodel.
That's like saying,
I'm picking the supermodel.
That's like saying, if there's Pam Anderson, then I don't want to date anyone else.
Right, he's the Pam Anderson. I'm saying, look, I like having barbecues with friends. My point is, I want to know if you're going, and we can have a couple of laughs. That's all it is. You guys are breaking it down.
What do you want to do?
You something.
Tell me what you would like to do.
No. Suppose you go and he ignores you all
You're
night.
going to be devastated.
No, he ignores me every time. He ignores me every time.
But he just wants to look at me.
So why do you keep thinking that you're going to have this great night?
I can answer that.
I'll tell you what happened at the
I'm
Bethel
doing.
magazine party. He passed by, he said hello to me real fast, and then he went off with Pam Anderson and Beth the whole night. So I never had my opportunity to hang out.
Because being in the same room with Howard.
I can't imagine. Let's see, I was on a couch with Beth and Pam Anderson, but I could have been with Sal.
Yeah, you should have knocked him off the couch and said, Sal, come over.
So you're about as gay as it gets.
Why can't I be Pam Anderson?
Why can't I be Vinny?
Look, I'm just
what
trying...
did you say in your mind about Pam Anderson that night?
What a lucky bitch.
She's a whore. But she's a whore.
She don't deserve to be with him.
Howard's he was pissed.
Howard's not lucky to be with her. She's lucky to be with Howard.
Look, the thing is...
Yeah, you want to talk to Ralph after he hangs out with me every day.
Hold on. Under any
Ralph.
Why can't I be Ralph?
I've tried to tell you this before. First of all, you try too hard.
I'm not trying too hard. I asked the guy politely.
No, you sound like a desperate chick. You know, just mellow out.
I am mellow. I'm very mellow.
No,
your hands are
you're
shaking
not.
now.
You're like a stalker.
I don't know. There's something wrong with my nerves. I have nerve damage, I guess.
You're nervous around Howard.
I'm just nervous.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to enjoy yourself at the Christmas party.
Sure,
if was it. You'd be nervous.
Ralph doesn't say to me, you go. If he wants to go to the Christmas party, he'll go.
I know.
If I'm there, we'll hang.
And if Ralph's been at your place, Ralph is already done. Ralph is exhausted. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? From what?
What do you mean exhausted?
I mean, he's desensitized to you. I'm not.
Well, listen, Sal.
Oh, by the way, let me make a statement right now. If I have Richard and Sal and everyone's been working on this movie, Super Twink. If we have a premiere party in my apartment, Sal is definitely not invited.
Yeah, he made too big a deal about it.
It's creepy.
Then I'll keep everything excited and just explode.
You can watch him monitor from the lobby.
I'm being open.
Sal,
I'm just saying politely.
Sal, listen. The reason I got invited there, because, the reason we're friends is I don't make a big deal about it.
I'm not making a big deal about it.
No.
I just asked the man politely if he's going to the party. That's it.
And you wrote me.
Yeah, and you asked Gary, and you wrote him.
Yeah, because Howard doesn't reply back.
And the biggest
telegram for you.
The biggest issue is
stalker.
I saw this. I said, I got to delete this.
Wait, Howard.
You're afraid of it being in your computer.
This guy's nuts.
It's going to infect your
that when I got home, I had dinner. But every time an email comes back, I get that ding.
Bling, yes.
So I turned my speakers all the way up, just in case Howard replied.
No bing from Howard.
No ding all night.
But Howard, the kicker
and then he must be so depressed if it's somebody else.
Oh, it should ding you over the head.
Not only
I got Scott Greenstein. I agree. That's all I got.
Hey, Sal.
Yes.
Why would Howard want you there, like staring at him like a psycho?
I'm not going to stare at him. I just asked the guy if he wants to go and have a few drinks and a couple of laughs.
When have you gotten an
Why would he want to hang out with you?
Why not?
Ralph, wait for a second. When have you gotten an indication that Howard wants to hang out with you?
Yeah.
You know what?
He went
after today, I think I got the answer. It's quite apparent.
But you've also turned a party for a group of people into a one-on-one date.
No.
It's a party for a group. What about the other people at the party? Does any of that make you want to go?
What about the fact that there might be hot chicks there?
I'm married. It's all
forget about that.
It's a
party for a bunch of people.
That marriage is a whole other problem.
It's a party for a bunch of people we've worked with for a long time. Does any of that draw you in?
Not really.
No, just Howard.
Well, yeah.
Just Howard. So really, why bother with the party? Just ask him for a date.
I just wanted to know if he wanted to come. That's all.
But just go and pick a different night.
It's not for you to worry about whether I'm going.
And he wouldn't be coming there to be with you.
Right.
What do you mean it is for you to worry about?
Well, if you're not there, I'm not going. It is for me to worry about. I got to get a babysitter. I got to figure out what I'm doing.
Babysitter, where's your wife?
Sal.
My wife's got my wife had a what?
Hey, Sal, listen. Here's what you should say.
Where is your wife?
My wife, she works Tuesdays, but it got pushed to a Wednesday. So she had to work. If she works, I have to watch the kids at night. So then I would have to get a sitter if I come to the party and I meet up with you and everything else. So,
meet up with you.
That's all I did. Look, I just, look.
If I say, like, hey, Howard, you go, and it's just like, hey, I'm going, it'll be fun. Like, hey, there's some strippers. You make it fun. Don't make it like, are you going? I want to be with you.
I need to be swarmy and slick like you, Ralph.
Listen to this. Here's Sal's note to me. Ready? I'll read it to you. Howard, you going to the K-Rock Christmas party tomorrow?
Honey.
If you're not, I'm going to pass. Sal.
See, now I know why you didn't respond, because if you would have left after that last sentence, you might have responded.
Oh, please. I'm not responding to any of this. I'm sending this note to the police immediately.
Evidence.
A person of interest.
That ain't no note. That's evidence.
Sal, you know what those parties are like? Everyone talks to everyone else for 3 seconds.
They're lame. I know. That's why, if anything, Howard... What would
Sal, here's your
Benji's ass the whole night?
Here's your answer, Sal.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
We're getting to the point.
I have an appointment with my daughter today. We have days.
And I know that.
Why can't I be your daughter?
See, this is Wednesday. I know Wednesday's family.
And also, I have another appointment after that, which is going to take me either to 6 o'clock or 6:30.
Okay, so
well, what about 6:45?
Then from 6:30, I'm going to be all the way out on Long Island. I got to get into the city. By the time I get into the city, it's 7:30. I go to bed at 8 o'clock. The odds of me making it to the party are slim. If I get out of my one appointment early, maybe I'll stop by because I want to say goodbye to the staff here.
What time would that be around?
Oh, my God.
What if I get on an exit 12 on the LIE? We could carpool in together.
Go ahead. So the answer is it's slim to none that I'll be there. But
he could be.
There's a chance,
right.
though.
Hey, Sal.
That makes two of us out.
Sal, first of all, it's none of your business if he's going to the party. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, if he does come to the party, he came to say goodbye to everybody, and he's not going to be talking to you. He sees you every day.
Right.
So why do you care if he's going or not? What difference does it make if he's there or he's not there to you? You're not going to be there to him no matter what.
Let's hold on a second. Dan, the song parody man, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, bro?
Hey, man.
Hey, Sal, you still there?
Yeah, he's here.
Didn't he? I thought he told me last week about this whole thing about the Christmas party. You just found out about it yesterday?
What did he say to you?
No, that was not this Christmas party. That was the on-demand Christmas party, Dan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My mistake.
He's not going to that one either.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going tonight unless Steve Freed's coming. Is he coming?
I'm going to the in-demand one, though.
Oh, good. So will I.
So, well, it's too late. You didn't RSVP yesterday. You turned it down already.
No, you're not going to that one. You're not.
How do you know?
It's the date. It falls on a date that you're doing something.
Right. How do you know that?
Wait. Do you really know this? Or
It's on a Wednesday.
No, it's next Tuesday.
Oh, wait a minute. Tuesdays you can do something. Well,
I'm doing something. You're right.
Howard, do you realize he knows your schedule better than I do?
He knows it better than I do.
Somebody's producing around here.
All right. Look, I got to take a break.
Producing fear.
When we come back, Blue Iris will be here to pitch a show. She has an idea for a show.
I'm just wondering if Sal's going to try to make that window, that 15-minute window you've left open.
Whatever. You hate me? Hey, I'm sorry.
Tell me by the toll booth.
Did you have a great time at the last Christmas party with Howard? Did you hang out with him a lot?
No, I didn't. That was the thing.
What happened? What went wrong? I don't even know. I think I was there with Beth. Yeah.
And you were talking to... so I hate when you talk to these people that I don't even know. I'm like, what is he doing? Wasting his time with some... Like, you'll talk to a guy who's like a car dealer or something.
Why is he talking to his mother?
Yeah.
He should be looking at me.
I'm like, why is he talking to this guy?
Who was I talking to?
I don't know. I think it was like that guy who sells those cars or whatever.
Yeah, but that's that guy's one chance to talk to Howard. You get to see him every day.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk to me.
He talks to you.
No, a little bit.
What was I wearing at the last Christmas party?
Black blazer, red shirt.
White underwear.
Black
You are kidding me.
Dude, can you work here and stay 50 feet away from Howard?
Yeah.
Why?
That's what it's getting to. It's really getting to restraining order
I just admire the guy. I mean, look,
everybody
in love.
Let's put him in a cage over it.
Who do you love better? Who do you love more, your father or Howard?
I love Osama bin Laden more than my dad. You can know.
Your mother or Howard?
My mom.
You sure?
Yeah.
Think about it.
But it's close.
It's close.
Who would you rather spend Christmas with, me or your mother?
Right, there you go.
Mom, you're alone. Eat a turkey.
Christmas with you would be awesome.
All right, there you go.
I mean, it would be
King
fun.
of all blacks, you're on the air.
Yo, Sal, man, what is wrong with you, man? I mean, it was funny at first. Now it's like, come on, man. Friendships happen naturally. You can't beat him in the head to be a friend.
I'm not beating... Dude, I just sent him an email. That's all. If he's
yeah,
coming,
but you don't... But you just get friends naturally. Ralph is his friend naturally. Ralph didn't beat him in the head.
I'm not beating him. I asked him... I just sent him an email.
You're a creep. Patricia, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, is this the gay channel?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
I know.
Hey, Howard, I'm here in Columbus. I'm missing you desperately. Can't wait to hear you live again.
Is this the transvestite
And Katie Couric's seat was definitely all goopy when you guys were together.
Well,
Have F. Mary Kill for you.
Go ahead.
Katie Couric, Mary Kate Olsen, Mary Delabate.
Oh, let's see. Well... Let's see, Mary Kate Olsen is the super skinny anorexic one.
She's the one that has all the problems?
She's the one with the problems, so I'd kill her. All right. I mean, I ain't going to be able to save her. And I love the other one. The healthy one, I'd do in a minute. That would have been a whole different story.
But she's gone.
Mary Delabate I could never be married to because she would drive me insane with all of her demands and her having to make me chip in with the chores and all that.
Well, she'd trick you into saying you were going to do things.
Right, so I'd F her. And then who was the third one?
Katie Couric.
Katie Couric.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess I'm married to Katie.
Wake up the one you killed.
Yeah. You know what? Kill Katie, and I'm going to marry Mary Kate Olsen, or whatever her name is.
You don't mind following Gary, though?
But no. Well, maybe I do. All right, kill Mary Delabate. you know, I've rethought the whole thing. I'm going to F Katie Couric, I'm going to kill Mary Delabate, and I'm going to marry... the Olsen girl.
Oh, that's creepy.
All right, thank you.
May I listen to the rest of the show on hold, please?
All right.
Thank you.
Have you ever followed a friend, like with a girl?
Tons of times.
Well, I know I've been with girls who I know guys who have had sex. I know some of the guys. It's not a pleasant list. All right, look, we got to take a break, Robin. We got to have Blue Iris come in, who wants to say goodbye.
She's pitching a show?
And she has some show she wants to pitch us for over. And we'll be back right after this.
Oh, yeah.
I was on some guy's website. Forget the guy's name. Oh, Joey Boots. And he evidently, when we were in Vegas, I guess when we were in Vegas, you could just call our rooms.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like, you just call him and go, hey, Fred Norris's room, please. You know, and, like, you'd get through, and I was listening to all the phone calls he made to Fred. Fred's, like, a real nice guy. He just, like, talked to him.
Talk to him?
Were you lonely?
I was actually getting a kick out of it.
Really? Because I would get annoyed. Fred was, like... It
was funny.
Well, actually, Fred kind of exposed Joey Boots for not being that funny, because Fred kept saying, okay, go ahead, say what you want to say.
Exactly.
It would have been funny if Fred got annoyed, but he was like, well, I don't care if you call my room.
But can we hear this?
Yeah, I think Sal was doing it. Sal figured out that you could call Gary's room all day in Vegas, too.
Boy.
Right, Sal?
Hey, Howard.
Hey, man.
Vegas stuff was brilliant.
Thanks.
You should hook up an IV with vodka and keep it on Artie all day long.
Yeah, Artie was out of control.
Out of control, and I love the guy. He's the best. How stupid do you have to be? Once I found out Baba Booey actually registered under his name at the hotel, it was a free-for-all.
You know what?
I had a fake name.
But you know who it was a free-for-all for? Sal, the only person that called me.
No, Joey Boots, too.
Howard, we would call Gary consistently, but the funny thing about Gary is he would pick up the phone, and we would say, hotel management, sir, we're out of bananas. And Gary would hang up, and we would immediately call back, and Gary would immediately pick up the phone again.
You know what happened? I had
clueless.
I had somebody really important that was calling at the time. It was actually somebody from the Hard Rock, and I was going to block it, but I needed to get
Why'd you use it? Well, like, John had a fake name.
No, because you know what? Until these idiots, nobody was bothering me. This was like on Thursday morning. But, you know, Sal got me really bad. He sounded exactly like KC. I pick up the phone and he goes, Garrett, it's KC. I go, what's up, man? He goes, come on down to Artie's room. We got some Coke there.
I know, and I heard you. You were like, hey, I'll be right down.
It's a joke.
No, but I know, but he goes, hey, we got some Coke. And you go, okay, I'll be right there.
No, he says, I got Coke and bananas. I'm like, okay, I'll be right there.
All right.
I said, bring your nose and bring your big choppers.
Let me hear some of it.
You can check it out at singandsmoke.com.
Oh, you don't have it there for us?
No, but Sing and Smoke, if Casey can pull them, you can pop them on CD real quick.
Try to get there before noon when I have it shut down.
But Howard, not since Bud Bongo Fiesta have you put on such great shows.
All right, great. Thanks, Sal. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
You jumped the shark one time, though, right?
What was that?
I know what he's going to say.
When you made your girlfriend a judge.
You think?
I think you owe the blue-collared fans an apology for that one.
I don't think so, but I heard somebody else say that.
See, I thought that you guys would like that because you never hear my girlfriend on the air, and I thought, I even said to Beth, would you go on the air? And she goes, I don't want to go on the air. I said, I think my audience would really like it if you went on the air. And
I thought it was.
But as a judge, I don't think they care about that.
Why not, though?
But, I mean, because you don't learn anything about her when she's judging something.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of a neat thing.
Actually, I've already learned a lot about her. She's called in. I think I would have liked to have seen her, and now people will see her.
That's what I thought, and then they want to see her on E! And
actually, Rob, you did learn a lot about her in the judging because she voted for the nicest person.
Hey, Howard.
I don't think that was a jump to shark moment, but you know better than I do.
I think the only thing she should judge is how you cradle your gravy bags over her nose.
You see? Where's your sense of romance, Sal?
Howard.
Yeah.
If you could... in all seriousness, if you could change one thing, just one thing about Beth, what would it be? If you could change one thing.
If I could change one thing. I hate questions like that because there's nothing I would change. What would I change?
I know where he's going with this, too.
What?
As soon as you give the answer, he's going to go, that's the thing you're going to hate about her.
No,
I see.
I'm just curious, because she's so perfect.
She's not perfect.
I mean, she won you over. Nobody can win you over.
She did win me. I said it is amazing because I was so...
I honestly think when Beth fillets you, she rubs your wallet instead of your,
You see, right away. You got to.
That's why you have to change your name.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get any calls to my room from Sal. I had a fake name. Robin had a fake name. Artie even had a fake name.
John had a fake name.
Howard, I knew your name. Howard, I got your name.
All right, fine.
It was Howard Ostrowski.
You figured it out.
Yeah. Sal, you working like a real job anymore?
Not today. My wife's 9 months pregnant. We're going to the doctor today. So.
But in general, I mean, are you still a stockbroker?
I'm an investment advisor. I advise you to shut your big mouth.
Sal, things are bad, I hear.
Nah, things are okay. If you notice everything...
I notice you're spending most of the day figuring out jokes about Gary's teeth me and my girlfriend, but unfortunately that doesn't generate income.
Howard, I'm jealous of your girl.
If you want to know what Sal's all about,
Howard, I think your fans should choose your girl.
If you want to know what Sal's all about, go to smokinggun.com and you can look him up in the archives and you can talk. You can see what a great career Sal had when he first started. All the places that he worked at that got shut down.
Yeah, you can go to Ringling Brothers and BarnumBaileyCircus.com and see how the whole life story of Gary Dell'Abate.
You mean everywhere Sal worked, they shut it down?
Sal, come on. Sal worked at 3 places that were so shady. There was one place Sal got out 4 days before it was raided. I swear to God.
Now he's advising people on their investments?
I advise you to get out before they're raided.
The Boiler Room?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sal.
You should become an inspirational speaker. I hear Christian Spencer has a couple of openings this month.
But anyway, since I'm broke due to the market and, past shady operations, please buy my CD at horsetoothjackass.com.
You know what's funny about Sal? While Sal was calling our room because he knew our names, the SEC knows Sal by his first name. And is calling him.
Artie Lang was smart enough to put his name under a different name as well.
He did. Could I give your name?
Great name.
Yeah. His name was Greg Nettles.
And give John's name.
Great third baseman. What was Stuttering John's name?
John was under Fred Gwynn.
Fred Gwynn.
Good, I saw that.
No, I was originally under my name. I was in my room for 3 minutes. 4 guys called offering me weed. I was like, I don't need this, man.
Anyway, Howard, great work.
All right, Sal. Thank you, and we look forward to your call.
Tell Beth I said hello. We'll get together real soon.
Well, hey, listen, I hope you do, Sal.
And you know what? And the challenge is on. If you want me to come down to the studio, I'd love to interview Beth with you.
You can interview her.
All right. When are we doing it?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know when we'll have that opportunity.
He really does not have to be at work at any future time, does he?
In other words, you're
available.
You're available whenever she's ready, right?
I'm like a celebrity. Whenever you want it, you got it.
All right, thanks, Sal.
Take care.
All right, there he is, Sal, the stockbroker. Well, I don't know if we can call him that anymore.
Sal, the former stockbroker.
Here's Sal's bit. It's David Patterson after he becomes governor holding a press conference, I guess. Playing up the fact that he's black and with a big, hello there.
Which I don't even mind that, fine, but have some jokes when he's saying it.
Yeah.
And then, well,
and then you'll see. And then the kicker is, of course, that he's blind, so he plays on that as well, Robin.
All right.
Breaking news. Elliot Spitzer steps down, and we bring you to a live press conference with new New York Governor David Patterson.
Governor, step to your left a little bit.
Okay, he's to my left.
Governor, approach the podium.
Okay, he's approaching the podiums. Well, hello there, people of New York.
Isn't that a great black impression? Wow.
It gets better.
Oh, wait,
He must have been practicing.
Wait till the big jokes start rolling.
It beeth an honors and a pleasures to be...
Like, where am I going to play this?
You know what's really sad about this? Sal's goofing on this guy for a lack of intelligence.
Right. And he's the dumbest guy on the planet.
And that's why it's not funny.
Right.
He's not intelligent.
Us new governor.
Governor, look out!
Whoop! Hold it! Damn it! Oh, man! Hold it down! Jesus, I think I pulled a rib.
What happened?
And he just fell off.
The governor fell off the stage because he's blind.
And then pull a rib supposed to be because of ribs?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I know Sal's head.
Because blacks are into ribs.
You know what Sal was talking about yesterday, man? He's crazy. He was talking about that. He's not voting for Obama because he said, look at who Obama married. And somebody said, well, what do you mean? He's married a black woman. When push comes to shove, he has to make a choice. Who do you think he's going to pick? I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I guess he's on...
I think what he's saying is Obama is half black and half white, and he has chosen his black side.
He chose side.
Who's he going to pick for what, though?
I don't know.
Well, when the revolution comes.
Right. Hey-oh. Yeah, first off, I have to mention that I don't want to get into a whole long thing about it either, but Richard Christie's, I smelled this rotten cheese in the hallway, like something just smelled like shit, and I looked in Richard's room, and he was shoveling in some sort of, like it looked like a spaghetti, like a white spaghetti, like maybe spaghetti covered in cheese, and the whole hall just stinks to high heaven.
Was this yesterday?
Today, this morning, going on right now.
Somebody's eating cheese and spaghetti
Richard
this
Christie.
morning?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's his birthday. He told me last night, he goes, I'm going to do my favorite thing on my birthday.
Which is what?
And I realize his birthday is April Fool's. It's I'll tell you what it is. Get a pizza. Where do you get a pizza from?
Well, that's for my meal this afternoon.
Yeah, what is the pizza from? Just so
Papa John's.
I get a pizza from Papa John's, and I watch Halloween 2.
No, part 1.
Part 1.
And 3.
And 3.
1 and 3 he watches.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Why not 2?
If I had time, I'll watch 2.
Right. Papa John's Pizza, dude. You could do a lot better.
You're in New York City.
It's a tradition. I've been doing that since 1996, and I don't want to break tradition.
What's that crap you heated up?
Oh, I got to thank my buddy Richie Rings for my birthday. He got me Carrabba's Chicken Brine. It's my favorite meal
Chicken brine?
ever. It's chicken with goat cheese, sun-dried tomatoes.
I knew I smelled cheese.
Yeah.
Would you heat it in the microwave?
Yeah.
Where do you heat it? Where is the microwave?
In the kitchen by the snack machine.
So it's coming through a door and everything.
The whole hallway reeks from that.
Ronnie was complaining about it.
Yeah, it really smells like vomit.
It tastes a lot better than it smells.
Yeah, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
No.
Somebody mailed it to you?
No, he brought it yesterday.
From where? Where's Carrabba?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Very far away place. I always say if I get rich, I want to open one in New York City.
Right.
There's a lot of food going on through the mail, and it's like a lot of weird stuff. I wouldn't eat any food from the mail.
Somebody sent live lobsters here one day.
Did you eat them?
No, I think Gary ate them, but we had this big, huge box, and we opened it up, and there were these lobsters, and I never...
And they're moving around?
No, they weren't moving, but then Jason went and touched one, and it jumped at us, and we flipped out. I
don't eat lobster. You want to order it because I hate the way they kill them. And, they always told me that the lobster doesn't feel anything. I just read this study over the weekend that lobsters have a tremendous sense of feeling and pain. And
how could they not feel anything?
Yeah. I was getting boiled to death.
They're in boiling water.
They don't feel it.
That's the sound. That sound Benji makes is kind of the sound that comes out of a lobster.
Yeah. Well, they're not feeling.
Well, they used to say they were screaming, but it's supposed to be like steam or something.
The shell's popping or something. Yeah, I think they're screaming.
The fact that a Papa John's pizza even stays in business in New York City aggravates the fuck out of me.
I've never had Papa John's.
But have you ever had it, Artie?
I've had like Domino's, and 100 years ago, it's just not good pizza.
Richard,
you don't know that. You haven't eaten it.
I
haven't had Papa John's.
I've had Papa John's. I've looked at it. It's disgusting.
It's like not that real good pizza.
There's a pizzeria right up 49th Street called Napoli.
I go there all the time. I love it.
Why wouldn't you get a pizza from there?
Because Papa John, it's a tradition. I have traditions that I don't like to break.
But you have the Napoli pizza. Is it better than Papa John's?
I like Papa John's better.
Wow, you are a hillbilly.
Oh, my God.
I am. I can't explain it. I'm sorry. Everybody has different tastes. It's a thing, like, I remember being an electrician, going home. That was the thing I really looked forward to on my birthday.
But you're wrong. It's not a matter of opinion. You're wrong.
Well,
Napoli's better.
Okay. But
you're going to eat a whole pizza?
Probably, yeah. Large.
Yeah, you're getting really fat.
A large.
Well, I am a large now. Well, my girlfriend will have a couple slices, too.
Good. Yeah, you sort of you know what it is? A couple of years ago, when Richard started getting his makeover and cutting his hair, and he got some nice clothes and nice tight-fitting clothes. Yeah. He still got the same clothes, but he's put on about 35, 40 pounds.
He's busting out of them.
So now he's just like bursting out of his clothes. And it's quite a look.
I've learned to suck it in, though. I'll walk around and just subconsciously be sucking my gut in.
Yeah.
So you're going to go home tonight with a pizza, Papa John's pizza, and actually watch Halloween 1 and 3 by yourself?
With my girlfriend.
That poor fucking girl. What is she? Is she on lithium or something?
No, we have fun. It's the simple things.
When did you last shower?
Yesterday, actually. Yeah.
Oh, we got you on a good day.
Believe it or not, yeah. You can smell me if you don't believe me, Robert.
Richard's real sensitive when people call him fat, like it gets him crazy.
Oh, does that bother you?
Well, it doesn't. It only bothers me when people like Ganji call me fat.
Well, Ganji's twice your size.
I know, but you can tell he dwells on his fatness because he's always calling me fat.
No, he's really fat. He has no willpower. He has no backbone. When he used to work at my house, he'd ask me for a diet, And I'd explain to him what to do. He could last for like 3 meals.
And he just says, but I like sauce.
Can you imagine?
And I was just like, you like sauce, you pussy? You want to lose weight, don't eat sauce. No, but I like it. Like a baby.
I want to see pictures of him on the beach on his vacation. He went to Puerto Rico. I'm sure.
Is he back?
I don't know, but I'd love to see like what he ate on his vacation on the beach.
The Puerto Ricans all ran out of the country. They couldn't believe it.
Richard doesn't look fat to me as much as he looks just like completely run down and unhealthy. He just looks like you're a mess.
But I'm trying. It's not like I'm not trying. Yesterday I did an hour in the gym, and I do go
to the gym.
Yeah, I do. I swear I do.
What happened to your karate lessons?
I still do that, not as often as I should, but I have a gym in my apartment building now, so I've been going there a lot more. But my problem is...
Americans are basically fat. I speaking to a friend of mine who goes to Europe a lot and was explaining to me, because I don't go to Europe, like Americans all walk around all fat, like in France and stuff. And supposedly the people in Europe look really together, like they're thin and, you know, like
Italians.
And the Italians, they have like a certain aura, demeanor. They're really into their appearance.
They have a thing about their appearance.
Yeah.
Well,
you know
what? They don't work hard at it. They just look good.
I know what it is.
They tell me the Americans walk around all fat and like, hey, look here. You know,
let's get some Papa John's.
That's
right, exactly.
And that's what they do. They roam through Europe looking for a McDonald's or, you know, something they recognize.
I used to go to get McRibs over at McDonald's when I was in Europe.
And then the Europeans all hate us and stuff because they think that's what we're all about, just eating, and we're real loud and like, you know, where's that Eiffel Tower? We got something like that back in Vegas. You know, it's just like,
yeah, right, exactly. When I got yelled at in France when I was in Paris, I broke some little trinket at a store, and some guy went off on me for 15 minutes about Americans. Some French guy. I was like the typical fat, dumb American.
Yeah.
But everybody over there rides bikes. Like, that's why they're so thin, because gas is 5 times more expensive, something like that, than it is here. So everybody walks or rides bikes and stays in shape.
Well, they were never out of shape.
I was trying to guess how old you are. I was kind of shocked when I found out, because you're looking older than what you are.
What is he, 37?
He's 35.
35?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm weathered.
Yeah.
Well,
you've had a hard life.
Well, hauling hay will do that to you.
Yep.
When I started hauling hay when I was 14. I'd be out in the sun all summer.
See you later, Rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what he just said.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to get into the whole thing.
I didn't want to get into a whole long thing with him. I was listening to the wrap-up show. It almost drove me to call in yesterday, because the guys had all decided that it was okay that Richard and Sal were selling pictures. And
they decided.
Yeah, all the guys on the wrap-up show were listening to the evidence, and they were like, yeah, you know, Sal and Richard had a perfect explanation. They go, listen, we go to these clubs. There's a professional photographer there. We take pictures with everyone. If someone wants the professional picture, we'll do it with their regular cameras. But if somebody wants a professional picture, the guy makes them available on a website, and they can buy them. And
they can buy them autographed.
And I'm sitting and listening to this, and I'm like, and then each guy goes, hey, that's not so bad, and John Hine or whatever.
They're breaking down.
They go, yeah, you know, that sounds reasonable. I'm sitting there going, that doesn't sound reasonable to me. What is the audience there, just to sucker into every fucking money-making opportunity? It's not the way I view this audience. I think that...
But we do what a lot of people don't do. We stay after the show. We say hi to every fan.
That's
sign every autograph.
Good.
Take pictures with their cameras.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's the same reason I get down on Bill O'Reilly or these guys who... there's nothing wrong, essentially, with him having a website where he sells the Bill O'Reilly sponge, or Rush Limbaugh sells the Rush Limbaugh radio taping device, or the ski jacket, or the towel with a monogram on it. You know, you think about the greats in show business, and I know you're saying, hey, you're struggling right now, but the greats in show business never viewed their career like that. They were entertainers. They go out and make their money entertaining, and they didn't look at the audience like just an endless cash machine where they would go out. And I know you could say to me, well, Howard, you're doing really well. You don't have to do this kind of stuff. I was making 10 cents an hour, you know. But I never looked at the audience like, gee, you know what? Maybe I could charge him for a picture. Maybe I could charge him for this or charge him for that. There's a certain pride, a show business pride, that you go, you can't look at your audience like, maybe I could sell him a sponge with my name on it because some people want it. Yes, some people want it, but maybe you don't want it. Maybe you want integrity. Does that make sense to anybody? Yes.
It does, but what if you don't have the ability to entertain?
Or no integrity, or no integrity.
Well, then you get out of the business.
Integrity and no ability to entertain.
Let me give you an idea. Have the ability to entertain, but you're not doing that thing. No, you guys, and you do have an act, and Howard's right. And you can entertain people, but you're not doing that move where you're charging more for an autograph thing. Right?
Yeah, I'll tell you the whole thing. And that's my point.
Lame. You can't do that.
So this audience who are fans of Richard and Sal, they're fans of the show, they come out, they see the guys, they pay for a ticket, they've already purchased something, and then, like, let them go away and say, yeah, that was great, that was a lot of fun. No, it's like, well, how else can I figure out how to make money off you? It's like a used car salesman. Maybe I'll charge you for rust-proofing underneath the car. You
got to get Sal in here, because when you started getting down on it a little bit yesterday when Steve brought it up in the news, Sal barges into my office, and he had a perfectly good explanation. He's like, listen, you go to Disney, and you're on the ride, and you take a picture, and you can decide whether you want it or not.
Disney sucks the life out of you. You go there, and you feel like you got raped.
I always do.
Yeah, it's like, gee, is there any other thing you can milk me for?
It was $40 to get in or $50 to get in. They charged me, $6 for a bottle of water, and now another $20 for the picture.
I don't know. If I was Disney, I'd be really grateful that someone showed up, and I might charge them whatever it cost me for water. I wouldn't make a profit off the water.
Knowing that you're in Florida and people are going to need water.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you sell the air that's fucking that's on Disneyland? How else can you figure out? Sure, you could figure out how to charge yours. And let's say, how many pictures did you really sell?
We'd have to ask our website guy.
Maybe we sold 10. Is it worth the 10 pictures?
Well, yeah, it was a thing they wanted to try out on the website. But if you don't like it, I mean, we definitely will stop doing it. We don't want to upset you.
Like I Love Tradio T-shirts and.
Oh, they have that?
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
The point that
Sal, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. I heard you were almost in tears yesterday on the wrap-up show. Because you're whining about how everyone's down on you, and you can only take so much. Who's down on you?
Is that why he has not around?
I don't know who he's talking about.
His wife's down on him.
All right, his wife. Get a divorce already, dude. Stop spending time taking pictures.
All right, have a good day, everybody. Yeah, nice being here. Now I feel like $1 million. Thanks, Howard.
Well,
there's nobody that can lift your spirits like you, I tell you that much.
Sorry, Sal, I disagree with your approach to show business. I do. You know what? You're in show. First of all, accept that you're in show business. You work on this show. It's a very popular show.
And
Secondly,
nobody more grateful.
You're touring, and I know that. But you can't look at the audience like, how many different ways can I cut them up and make money? I get presented with about 1,000 money. You can imagine the money-making scams I get asked to do.
I can imagine.
Over the years, one guy approached me and goes, listen, I got a magazine company. We'll just slap together a magazine, and we'll put it out with your name on it, and you'll have your own magazine. And, I could have gone to the audience and said, okay, look, go buy my magazine. Everyone would be all excited about it. But it would have been shitty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, I've had guys come to me, T-shirt guys, decal guys, guys who sell towels, fashion line, perfumes. You know why you respect me? Because I don't have a perfume. I don't have, and I see, how many people really bought an I Love Tradio T-shirt? 7?
Maybe.
Be honest.
Right.
Is it worth just looking like a whore for 7 T-shirts? If you had some big business, all right, so you sold out a little.
But, Howard, would you believe that people actually, enjoy buying something? They actually like taking something away from the show where me and Richard autograph it, and they... when I go to a rock concert...
It cheapens you.
Okay, and I remember the same rap you gave Jackie, and I always agreed with you on that.
You did.
With the button mugs and
how do you think I felt when Jackie would go to a show?
You hated it.
No, I mean, Jackie would go to a show, and Jackie has a right to license his name, I guess. The reason his name was popular is because of this show. He couldn't come to grips with that. Nobody was looking for Jackie anything.
Right.
Nobody cares about Jackie.
Right.
And Jackie would show up, and he'd have this audience that was, rabid to see him because... He's a live performer. He's someone from the show. You get a chance to shake hands and say hi, and Jackie's a very likable guy. And then he'd do a show. Then he'd lower himself by getting on the stage and putting a tray out and saying, who wants to buy coffee cups with Jackie?
It was like he opened a store right after the show.
Yeah, like a garage sale in a comedy club.
Like a schmata salesman.
He was like a souvenir dude.
What bothered me, I said, the guy not only doesn't have any respect for the show, he has no respect for himself.
Thank God he got rid of
it. And some people walked away and go, wow, I got me a Jackie mug. Right. But you know what? I know they sobered up the next morning and looked at that fucking Jackie mug for $14.
And cursed Jackie.
And cursed Jackie, cursed me and everybody.
But I used to love when somebody'd call in and want a prize, and you you'd give them a Jackie CD and they'd be all pissed off.
A Jackie CD because it was meant like, fuck you. You're not getting a good prize.
But Howard, we don't peddle anything. We have them there, and if people want to buy them, they buy them.
So you don't see a difference between you and Jackie?
Oh, no, I do see that. I see exactly.
So why did you think Jackie was... Why did you agree with me about Jackie, but not about you?
Well, buttons and mugs and pencils.
How do you say that?
Buttons.
How do you say that word again?
Buttons.
Buttons, mugs, pencils.
What is he saying? Why doesn't that sound right?
It's buttons.
T. You got to say a T.
Buttons?
Buttons. Oh, I didn't know. Whatever. Nothing sounds good out of my mouth.
No, I never said that. That's the other thing. You're so downtrodden. Nothing sounds good out of my mouth. I tell you when you're funny, but you can't hold on to that.
I don't have... No, it's not against you, Howard. It's
you're
just me.
You're the funniest guy on the roast.
Yeah, Howard, it's not that. I'm not down. I'm just down. I'm just down lately, just on myself.
With that wife? Get rid of that fucking wife already.
No, I'm not going to get rid of her.
You're not going to get rid of her. She fucking hates you.
What are you down about on yourself about?
She doesn't want to have sex with you. She doesn't like you. She's told us she doesn't.
Well, that's probably why he's down, but he thinks it's internal.
No, I know.
She's texting 143. What more? What are you doing? Get a grip on yourself with that wife.
I called a therapist yesterday, so
yeah, what are you doing with that therapist?
I got to get back to him.
To who?
To the therapist.
What's wrong?
I don't. Just everything in my head is just. I'll
tell you what's wrong. You got a shitty marriage.
But I don't think I do. I just have to.
That's why he needs a therapist, because he's unaware that he has a shitty marriage.
Tell me what's good about it.
We do get along. We're going to Florida this weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
It's going to be a disaster.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
You're looking forward to it? Going to be a great time?
Yeah. You want to chop her up yourself, Howard? You can. I'll buy you a wood chipper. We'll put it in front of a river. You can go to
your
town.
wife.
I like her, too.
The two of you don't get along.
I think it's more me now because based on what happened. You think you can fix shit. There's some shit you can't fix, And that's the problem. Like, every day there's always these things that go through my head.
The thing you can't fix is your brain.
Well, I can't.
You're not assessing the situation.
I am assessing, and I'm trying to make the best of what I have. And I love my wife dearly, and I know she loves me, but I don't
love your wife.
Sure I do.
You're the guy who writes up, I want to chop my wife up and kill her.
I'm just listening
I'm venting
to
frustration.
Song.
There's a big difference there.
You want to push her down the steps. You want to...
Yeah,
what kind of love is that?
Well, it's a way. It's a release for me,
but listen to what you're saying. I want to die.
You're not acknowledging that you can't stand her. You're angry with her. Yeah. I happen to like your wife. You want to know something?
She's never done anything to you.
No. I mean, I think she's a lovely woman. This is not to mark her as a bad person.
No, I know.
You guys just don't get along.
What happened is, lately I've been reflecting a lot, and I think that I keep focusing on me driving her to do what she did. I'm feeling really...
That's good. You took responsibility. You said, look, it takes two to tango. I'm not being a great husband. But I don't know. The two of you, it always sounds like torture.
Nah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Why be in it? I know you got the kids, but maybe you two could work something out where you're involved with the kids.
I talked to Sal about this a lot. The thing that fascinates me about it is, he'll always say, well, he wants to fix it, but then neither of them do anything to fix it.
Right. He called a psychiatrist. Can imagine this.
That was a long time ago. I mean, they were going to therapy together, and they stopped, and he really doesn't have a good explanation of why they don't go anymore. And I feel bad for him because he's really not happy.
Why don't you go anymore?
We went to therapy, and she would start laughing at the therapist, and she would laugh. And I remember one time it broke down. She was cracking up, and she thought it was just ridiculous.
But you started crying, and she cracked up?
She was dying laughing.
I like her.
She's funny.
I should marry her. If I wasn't married, I would date her.
Yeah,
she has a great
sense of humor.
I'll take Beth. She's more forgiving.
She ain't looking for you.
I know. She's a sweetheart.
Sal's wife got a standing ovation at our comedy show the other night. She was there, and the crowd, when Sal mentioned her, they flipped.
Yeah. Sal can't get a break. Even his fans like
her better than
Yeah. So we went to therapy, and she starts crying. I start crying, and she starts laughing. And she's like, look, I'm just trying to make light of the situation. You're overreacting. I'm like, I'm overreacting. Do you realize what you've done to me? It's not me with 143 my fucking phone, So we would leave, and she's like, I just can't believe you just spent $180 on therapy. I'm like, well, I'm doing this for us. She's like, I could have bought a new pair of jeans. You could have bought a new pair of shoes. I'm like,
your insurance will cover your therapy.
Yeah, your insurance.
No, I don't know.
Insurance.
And I checked in.
Call the insurance and order a Papa John's.
So we kind of I just said, you know what, forget this therapy, forget this lady, and all this other horse
she's not
shit.
into it.
Yeah, she's not into it.
That $180 is a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, yeah.
And that's it. So, but we've been getting along. I know you're making an assumption, Howard, that it's her, but...
When's the last time your wife hugged you and kissed you and said, you know what, I love you?
You know, she did that...
Tisha B'Av, I think, in 2002.
I'll tell you, it doesn't happen much, but she did it 2 days ago because I broke down. I flipped out.
You flipped out?
Yeah.
Oh, is this where I heard about this? You flipped out in front of the kids?
Yeah, that was the first time I did that, and I just wanted to...
What happened?
I've never flipped out in front of my kids, and that was
How'd you flip out?
I'm getting 100 phone calls a day for the show in the hallway. There's a lot of pressure on me, and, you know, and thank you to everybody for being involved. So I'm trying to do that. Then I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting 16 text messages. Howard says you're full of shit, and Gary says you're late every day, and Howard says you're a liar about the train. Now
I want to know who's texting you.
All my friends and stuff.
The Gavones you hang out with? Who are all jealous?
Whatever. I'm just...
You're jealous because they have a hot wife and you got a great job?
Probably. I'm not...
Those Gavones?
Right. That's
and that's who you listen to?
No, I'm just saying these are coming in.
Anybody who ever texted me and did that would never have my text number. I would never be friends with them.
Right.
They could drop fucking dead. Do you understand that?
You were sick, right? You didn't need those texts.
Right. You would allow someone in your life... Name the people who text you. Name a guy who texted you that.
Ian.
Who's Ian? Is he a buddy?
Ian's my miserable Jewish friend, yeah.
He's a Jewish friend, miserable guy.
Very miserable.
And he texts you, hey, Howard says you suck, Howard says this, Howard says that.
He said, what's going on? Howard says you're full of shit about being sick. And I look at it.
Listen, take my advice. This guy, Ian, drop him like a fucking hot potato. He's trouble. He's a jealous prick. Look at me. You don't know what a friend is.
Right.
Friends don't do that. They don't rile you up when you're home relaxing or getting better from being sick. Don't you get it? Don't you protect yourself from people like that? Don't you think you're better than... you got a wife who treats you like a shithead. Now you're letting your friends walk all over you like that? You say, fuck
You got nowhere to turn.
You say, fuck her. Lose my phone number.
Right.
Never text me again. You're dead to me. Stand up for yourself.
Yeah, but...
Don't be a maggot in
I don't
life.
think his intent was malicious. But...
No, you're a victim. You don't think it was malicious. How much more malicious does it get?
Right.
Hey, guess what, asshole? Your boss thinks you're a shithead. Feel better. Scumbag Ian. Tell Ian to fuck off.
I know.
You can act like a man.
And that's the point.
Right.
In The Godfather, when the guy goes, act like a man.
You can act
Not
like
just
a
with
man.
your woman, but with everyone.
I've told Richard I've cut everything out of my life now. Like everything.
Me and Sal have been reading that book, The Secret.
Yeah.
That Hulk Hogan talked about on the show.
Do you guys sit on his lap and read together? Or do you guys do everything?
I didn't start reading it yet. He read it, but he gave me good advice that you have to wipe out all negativity in your life. Well,
you don't see Ian as being negative when he texts you? And
Ian makes me feel better about myself because he's really miserable and down and out.
Yeah, but he's not helping you feel better. You're looking at his miserable life, saying, I'm better, but as soon as he contacts you, he brings you down.
Yeah.
Here's what a friend does. Dear Sal, I hear you don't feel well. I hope you feel better.
He did that, too.
I texted him that.
Yeah. Well, you're a friend. You're making him feel better.
I love him.
Did you tell him everything we were saying?
Not at all, no.
You mean you didn't tell him that we think he's an asshole?
No, I just said...
say, hey, have a nice day?
I said, I hope you're doing better, buddy. Feel better, and I hope
you didn't text me, Howard?
No, I didn't.
Right.
I'm not your friend.
Your number.
Oh, that's true. You keep reminding me.
Right. I'm not a friend.
I know.
He's staying away from you because he doesn't have anything good to say.
Right. Actually, I'm a better friend than Ian.
He's taking care of you.
Ian went out of his way. I hate texting. My thumbs are too big. It takes time to type. This guy actually spent time making you feel bad, and you think he's a friend.
What can I do today to make this asshole feel even worse?
You know, I'm gonna sit there with that dumb text thing, and sit there and punch those buttons.
Yeah, I can't call him, but I can text him.
And that's no short text.
And plus, like you said, Sal, he's Jewish.
No, he's a self-admitted, miserable, hateful Jewish person. That's how he carries himself.
That's good. That's a guy you want to hang around.
What are you talking about,
he's
Sounds like
amazing.
you pick from the best
I love
people.
him. I love him. I love you, Ian.
Good.
Even though you're a miserable prick.
He's a self-admitted Jewish person.
Self-admitted hate. What is it called? A self-hating Jew. That's what he is.
All right.
But I love him. I love the Jews.
Good. Yeah, you love everybody. Just like you love your wife.
Well, that's the problem. I feel like I always have to please everybody, you know, and then it all comes tumbling down on you. So I'm cutting out all my...
By the way,
emails and all that
what
stuff.
comes tumbling down on you?
I don't know.
You tumble down on yourself.
But I think Robin hit the nail on the head. When it all comes down to it, all the stress in my head, when it filters down to one thing, I think it's me and my wife, you know?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. So that's
well, of course it is. Who wants to go home and be on edge and be miserable? You got a hot little life. Don't get me wrong. You should be fucking her and having a great time, going out on the town with her. No. You two are busy with arguing and all kinds of shit. It's over.
You know, we're not arguing. When I've been in a bad relationship and I've finally thrown the guy out, when I walk into my house and he's no longer there, I'm like, nobody here making me feel bad. Nobody here telling me I'm worthless. Nobody here unappreciating me. Now it's a good place to come to.
Well, that's not the case with my wife and myself. I think it's just an issue of what's happened in the past, and I'm trying to get through it.
But that makes you feel worthless and not good enough every time you walk in.
There you go. Good advice. There you go. Same thing.
Whatever it is. Who the fuck knows? I can't figure it out. Nobody can figure it out. That's why you read about guys in the...
figure it out.
We figured it out. What don't you know? What can't you figure out?
I think she loves me and I love her, and I'm just going to...
She told us she doesn't love you.
She does. She never told me
laughs when you cry.
Yeah, well, that was in the past.
Who laughs when someone cries? I mean, that means you're in pain. And if you love someone, you're like, oh, man, this
You
guy's...
wouldn't do that to a stranger.
Wouldn't do that to a dog. Dude, you don't know... You love to be...
No, I don't.
You're what they call a masochist.
Masochist?
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know what I mean? Like, you just love it.
Yeah, I just got stressed out. That's all. I'm fine now. I'm fine. I'm definitely... I'm okay. I've just been focusing on my work and doing
You're not okay.
I'm okay.
You're almost crying on the wrap-up show. Listen to this guy.
I don't hear this.
The stress is getting to him. From the Howard TV is stressing him out.
No,
he wanted to do the show.
No, it's not that. It's just a combination of all my work and being on the road and working here. You know, I do the radio show, the TV show.
And then selling the pictures to the audience. I mean, that's got to drive you crazy.
Sal's like super stressed out these days. He looks like unhealthy. I don't think he's, I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. I think he's working way too hard.
What's going on?
No, it's just a combination of, right now, every day after the show, we're filming Show in the Hallway, shooting till 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Then I'm on a plane every weekend doing the shows with the great people, and it's just like it's just adding up. It's been very, very stressful.
But you love being here. We talked about that yesterday on the air too.
Yeah, I love being here, but sometimes it gets to you. When it does. I won't lie to you. I mean, this is the greatest job in the world. But like anything else, a combination of stress, being on the road, doing all these things, and trying to please the fans. That's all I do. That's all. My only intent in life is to please people. That's why I'm here, and that's why I am honored to be here.
I'm doing such a great job at that.
When you get beat up so much, sometimes it takes its toll. And it's a combination of working real hard and getting beat up. You just kind of snap.
Woe is me. Wah. Woe is me.
Now don't cry and whine. Don't be a pussy homo. Now don't wash out your vagina.
Sal's vagina itches.
Sal, you've lost your fucking mind.
All that work, and you two are reading a book right now.
Sal, don't cry and whine.
Me and Sal are reading a girl's book.
Here's the secret: Coke and a hooker. That should be my secret right now, man.
Piss video.
A nice big bottle of vodka.
Me and Sal reading girls' books, trying to figure life out.
He said me and Sal have been reading that book, The Secret.
Here's a secret for you.
You read the
Get a
first
divorce.
page, and I'll read
Well,
the second.
I heard Hulk Hogan say that it helped him, so I figured I'd try it.
I get all my literary tips from Hulk.
Now, it's just that when you guys, when you're coming up with a plan, and I understand you're trying to do everything. You're doing the comedy shows. You're doing hallway shows. You're doing this show, that show, call and trade. I understand. It's it's pressure. But you don't need to feel desperate to grasp every penny from the audience. You can leave something on the table. And you know what? Your audience will appreciate it. Because it just makes you... I know some people do want a professional picture with you guys. There's 4 people who want that. It's like when Eric the Midget goes and makes an appearance and 4 people show up.
Right.
I mean, you want to,
You want to be Eric the Midget?
Would you rather say, you know what, we don't sell everything that isn't nailed down so that we don't look like we're trying to grub off the audience? Or you selectively sell a few things, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You already sold a ticket. People saw you coming off the road. You did well.
Leave them wanting more.
We also, people will email me through my website and request headshots of us, and we send all those out for free.
Oh, you guys are really great. You guys are real princes.
Sirius even like printed out 8x10s for us, so we could send out to the fans.
Isn't that nice?
Took 2 years, but...
Yeah, well, you know what? Guess what? I don't send out any 8x10.
Right.
8x10.
It finally happened. Be happy.
How about you tell the audience, I don't even have an 8x10. Then they respect you more.
Well, they would believe it, first of all.
But we're sending those out for free. They just love it. It's a nice thing to do. I always said I'm probably the only pseudo-celebrity sending out an autograph where I also fill out the address on the envelope. So they have my autograph several times. Yeah.
Well, that's charming.
Do you know, Howard, how I have 143? Richard said he got so tired of signing that he wanted to come up with 3 numbers as well. So what's your numbers?
423.
Yeah.
What is that?
Jack me off. It's just something.
I got to get out of this.
It's something easy to sign.
Why don't you guys go back and read girl books?
All right.
See how you do. And really,
I'm okay, man. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. And you know what? I'll work it out. And
how much are the I Love Tradio T-shirts?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know? Don't you want to know?
We haven't made any money off of that.
Yeah. So why have it? You haven't made any money off it.
And who designed it? I mean, does it look horrible? What is it?
It's dumb. It's like one of those shitty T-shirts we get in the mail all the time that people make on a computer. I Love Tradio. It's like the whole website is hawking this crap. I mean, you guys are worse than like Bill O'Reilly or Rush Limbaugh. I mean, okay. Look at all different designs. You can get I Love Tradio, different colors. You got a mannequin modeling it. I mean, it looks like they're in the shitty clothing business. I mean,
that's actually a person that died.
Why don't you just label the shitty clothing store? If you really want to look like shit.
You want to look like crap?
Let's see. What does it say?
I'd buy from the shitty clothing
Rod
store.
Stiffington shirt. I mean, how many of those have you sold? Do you know? You know how many.
I've autographed a couple of them. Probably 2 or 3.
All right. Maybe not everything you have to be in business. It's like, you ever see this J-Lo?
Yeah.
You say, gee, is there anything? She's got a clothing line, a perfume line, or this line, or that line.
Well, the one thing lucky about it is she doesn't have to make movies anymore, so there's no more crappy J-Lo movies out there.
Well, the best example of that is Kiss. Like, they sell everything.
And isn't it sort of, like, embarrassing?
Well, Sal buys a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but that is embarrassing. I mean, I don't want to be buried in a fucking Kiss casket.
Right.
That's a little bit over the top.
Well, so then you say to yourself, well, okay, granted, you're not Kiss, you're not as big as those guys. Those guys could afford not to sell all that shit.
Right.
They just look like they're money grubbers.
Right. We certainly don't want to be money grubbers. I mean, that's not our intent.
So elevate yourself a little bit. Start looking at yourself as a winner. Start saying to yourself, okay, right now I'm at the beginning of my comedy career, but I'm going to carry myself with some dignity. That's all. And then all of a sudden people begin to start thinking you're a star. You start to think like you're a star and you become a star. I'm not saying you can't sell a couple of items if you got something really big going on, but is it worth it for the 7 shirts you're going to sell all year to have a whole website full of shit?
We're kind of just, so far we've been selling it just to pay for the website. So.
Well, there you go. So is it worth it?
That's why we haven't made any money.
Take down the website. Be a little more mysterious.
We have to have our comedy dates up there.
Yeah, I think we have to sell like 300 more shirts to break even.
It's the RichardandSalShow.com, by the way.
So you're not even making any money with it. So you can't even say it's helping to pay for your...
Yeah, get a MySpace page or something.
Yeah. I have one of those, too.
Yeah, well, rather than that, even just like... write something great or go home and think about your act and how to make it better.
Oh, we do that, too. I mean, me and Sal each have about 30 minutes now.
We do, right now the shirts are paying off like the web designer who did a great job on it. And that costs a lot of money. That's where the shirt money's going.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Right, good luck.
But how many weekends you guys doing? Like,
we're booked all the way till
July,
Yeah, till the end of July.
Every weekend?
Yeah.
Almost.
Till the end of July.
And we've been doing, we made the mistake of adding on Thursdays. So we just came off a 3-day weekend.
And are you making some money?
Yeah, we're making a couple of bucks.
I would think so, if you're working that many hours.
Well, that's the other thing. That's why I'm so stressed out. Whether I'm making more money or less money, I have no money in the fucking bank.
Why?
I don't know.
I know you're not doing horribly here.
No, I'm not doing horribly at all.
I mean, you're making some money here.
Yes.
I can tell you why, because Sal's wife and my girlfriend were hanging out at one of our shows the other night, and Sal's wife goes to my girlfriend, so what has Richard bought you with all this extra comedy money he's making?
Oh, boy.
She spends every dime.
No, she doesn't.
Where's the money?
Did you ever sit her down and say, listen...
credit card debt and home equity loan debt.
Is it all from her spending?
No, I think it's a combination of both of our spending in the past. When I first moved over here from Wall Street, I was in a little debt from Wall Street, and then I came here, and my salary dropped substantially, and then we started using credit cards. So the credit card debt went up tremendously. So it's credit cards, and then we took out a home equity loan to pay off the credit cards. Then we got issued new credit cards. We kept going into that.
But what are you buying? What is it you
Who the fuck knows?
What is she buying? Pocketbooks? Take every one of those fucking pocketbooks and burn them. What are you,
don't
crazy?
burn them, sell them.
Yeah.
Get something for
Take them down to Tradio and really sell. I want you to call Tradio.
Items you need to sell.
Yeah, I mean, you need Tradio. No wonder you like it.
I should take out all the pocketbooks out of my wife's closet, take a picture for you guys.
How many does she have?
Oh, I would say at least 30, 40 purses.
40 purses?
Yeah.
She's the Imelda Marcos of pocketbooks.
Yeah, she loves it.
And you see that attitude? What is your man buying for you? What is he buying for you? What you're doing
With
is
that
trying
extra money. You don't have any extra
You're trying
money.
to get a cushion.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to get ahead, and that's the thing.
You want to know something? Take off those Fakakta T-shirts and sell what's her name, Christine?
Yeah.
Sell her pocketbooks on your website.
Autograph. We'll autograph the pocketbooks.
Yeah. God, I respect. Listen, you got to sit her down and say, listen, honey, we're a team. And if you can't get
Yeah,
you say, listen, the money that I'm making on the weekends, I got to put in the bank so in case something goes wrong, we got a cushion.
That's what I've been saying that word for word.
We got to start investing it. You were in the market.
Right.
Invest in something. Buy something.
Right.
Pay off your house.
So you're saying this, and what happens?
She laughs.
No, she says, you don't understand. She goes, I am. She goes, I'm working towards that, but we're in a tremendous amount of debt.
But how could you buy pocketbooks?
I don't know. She hasn't purchased one recently, as far as I know.
Cut up those credit cards. Cut them up.
I might as well. They're all maxed out anyway.
And you're working every weekend and doing these live shows, and you're still maxed out.
Yeah.
Sal, when I get stressed out from working too much, I never work more than 2 or 3 weekends a month. You're every weekend till July, dude. That's
just about, yeah.
That's a lot of fucking work.
Here's your friend Ian. Ian.
Hello?
You call yourself Sal's friend and you're texting him?
No. I was telling Sal that you guys were getting on him when he was late. I was with him.
Well, wait, even one better. Hold on, Ian. Who did you text, me or he texted my wife?
What? No, actually, I don't even text. Actually, I called Christine at about later that morning that they were just talking about you, that you were late
Ian,
on the show.
let's say a guy's late at work.
Yeah.
Why would you call him and say we're bad-mouthing? What does Sal get out of it? Does that make him feel good, Ian? Here's your fucking brain.
But he was twisting it around.
You're a yid?
When he started talking
Ian,
about
Sal tells me you're a yid, right?
Yes.
Ian, but you got you're Meshuggah of Toit. You got brains like a goyim. Use your head.
Excuse me.
No.
Ian, hold on, Howard.
I'm the nice friend. When Sal when him and Christine are going to see the therapist, I'm at his house watching his kids.
It's true. I said you're a good guy, but you know the thing is, Howard says, "Who's these people texting you?" And I told him it was you.
Ian, you're not a friend. He should dump you.
No I'm never dumping Ian.
Dump him.
No.
Get rid of him.
Ian's a miserable guy. Howard, Ian used to work on Wall Street as the trader, and he had to do like 4 jobs at once. And
I don't care what he is. He's not your friend.
But I got to tell you one story.
He hates you.
This guy, do you hate me, Ian?
Of course not.
He's not going to know he hates you.
He's jealous. Let me tell you something.
Ian's not jealous.
I know.
Trust me.
Oh, trust me, he is.
A lot of people.
He probably thinks Christine's hot. Number 1.
Is he married?
Number 2,
yes, he's married.
You're in show biz. You're on the radio. He's busy listening to the show.
You're not Jewish.
Right. You got it all going on.
Yeah, I did think I was emotional.
You're not Jewish.
So I was a little jealous there.
What are you jealous of?
I was jealous when I was emotional friend number 2. I thought I was number 1.
Oh, you're a scumbag.
All right.
This guy, like a
there was this guy, Howard. There was this guy, so-and-so Markovitz, right? And he used to
So-and-so Markovitz.
Yeah, I don't want to say the name completely.
Well, you just said his name. Forget it. I don't want to know this guy. Dummy.
You left out the guy's first name?
Why don't you say this guy Dave we know, not so-and-so Markovitz.
You left out the guy's first name.
Right, listen, you don't think clearly.
I don't know what you are.
So-and-so Markovitz.
I wanted to stress he was Jewish. There was a...
All right, thank you. Thank you, good.
Go away.
But
Ian, listen to me.
Yes.
Any psychiatrist who was listening to this would tell you got a lot of anger towards Sal. The texting,
No.
you went out of your way to sit and bum the guy out.
He was already sick.
Yeah. You're not a friend. No offense.
No. I was with him the day before on Sunday. I knew he was sick. And then when you guys were getting on him that he was out, and how many times had he been out?
You felt you needed to text him.
You made sure he knew.
He's laughing.
Yeah, well, because
he hates you.
Because you know what he did? He dug the knife into you. He knows how much it bothers you.
It makes him feel better.
He's a friend like Judas is a friend. He stuck the shiv right in you.
I tell you, when I'm out, people know not to fucking call me.
Right.
I lay that law down.
Well, I wouldn't call someone and say, guess what? I know you're sick, but
they
boy,
were bad-mouthing you on the
everyone's
show.
bad-mouthing you. Go have a nice day. Feel better.
Sal called me stressing out that night, too.
Ian likes it.
Sal called me that night. He was like, oh, man, how bad was it today? And I tried to play it down. I was like, oh, it wasn't
Sal's head, it's worse. You know?
Right.
Ian.
Yes.
You're vicious.
No, I'm not, because I met Robin once, and I know her
Ian,
friend's brother.
Ian, you're vicious. You're a pariah. Sal should get rid of you. That's my advice.
No.
Cut him out. Get rid of this guy.
No, I'm the one picking him up at the train, driving him home from shows.
Good.
Yeah, so you can work him.
All right, thank you, Ian.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Have a good day.
All right, Ian. Clean up your act.
Isn't your name for him Ian the Jew? Like that's what
Ian the
call
miserable Jew. That's what he calls himself. That he's self-proclaimed.
Well, you know what? That's great for him. That's great for him.
I'm a miserable Italian.
It's great that he thinks himself as the Jew.
So you realize that's how Hitler took over. You're obsessed with people who are Jewish.
No, he calls himself that.
I know,
it's
but
a kind of joke with him.
You're obsessed with.
That's how he introduces himself on the phone.
Right.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but he's pretty miserable.
All right, thank you. I'm sucked into your world now, and I can't get out.
All right. Oh, keep going then.
The vortex.
My point is that when you look at a career, I don't care what your career is. Right now, you're not on the top level of show business, but it doesn't matter. You conduct yourself like you're tops. You show up to your gigs on time, which you do. You create comedy.
Right.
You go there, you give the people a good show. You leave like a star.
We go to the bar afterwards.
You don't afterwards go, hey, at the bar, you got to go on our website and get a Tradio T-shirt. I mean, really.
We would never say that.
Well, whatever you say, it's there. That's who you are.
And we'll definitely take your advice.
Yeah, think of yourself as class. I hired you guys because you're funny.
Thank you.
Because you make T-shirts.
Right. Thank you.
You didn't hire him for the T-shirt?
No.
Yeah. I remember.
Listen, you want to know something? I'm going to tell you something.
The Jackie rap, I can hear it.
It hurts sometimes to leave money on the table. Some guy said to me, well, if you're really ending your career, the 5 years you're at Satellite, let's really merchandise. Because you're going to end your career anyway. So am I going to go out on a low note? I'm going to say to my audience, hey, go to my website and buy every piece of shit I can think of. I got a sponge with the name Mark and Brian on it. You think I want to be that guy?
Definitely not.
I mean, shit, that's probably a lot of money. I could probably make a couple of bucks. Big bucks selling that. Everyone wants a Howard Stern sponge. I mean, but I don't want to be that. Johnny Carson could have sold a million things. All right, one time he went into those line of suits, and you know, that even cheapened them. The guy made enough money, he didn't need to do that. All right, you guys are a little down on your luck. You're not making money on the T-shirts. So what are you doing it for? What, just to have your hands in everything? What are you, moguls? You got your hands in enough.
You know, believe it or not, Howard, I know where you're coming from.
Say no to some things.
Okay, but
you'll class yourself up.
But what?
People do like him. People do like little mementos from
some
shows.
People
some
like
people,
not 99% of the people showed up didn't buy a Tradio T-shirt. They look at that and they go, look at Sal and Richard selling Tradio T-shirts.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm fine with
every idea that pops into your head doesn't have to involve how can I bilk the audience. Bernie Madoff?
You know, if we're looked at that way as bilking the audience,
think about how you're looked at.
That's not what we want to be. So I'm taking your advice.
Think about a long-term career.
I'm taking your advice.
You want to do something show business, or you want to write a book? Like Artie wrote a book. Okay, that I understand. That's showbiz. You're writing something. You're offering.
I mean, he's still entertaining.
Right. Right. That's a show business endeavor. You're creating something.
Yeah. You're right.
Why don't you two morons go write a book? Do something creative.
Get done reading one.
We read The Secret. Yeah, we could maybe write a prank call how-to book or something.
Yeah. No, that's not even good. How-to. People know how to make a prank call. You call a number and you go, hi, my name's Asshole.
6-year-olds make prank calls.
So let me ask you, who do you think is going to buy a how-to prank book? You see, that's where your thinking is wrong.
Hi, I'm Harry Cox.
Here are the names you can use.
This is Norma's Tits.
How to sell Jewish teeth.
How to sell Jewish teeth.
Right. But you know what? I'll tell you what, man. If I was going to sell T-shirts, I'd go into business with Calvin Klein.
Right.
I wouldn't sell my audience some shit.
Call
that T-shirt, I can make that T-shirt. I love Tradio.
They are high quality shirts.
I don't care.
Yeah, but the crap you write on to make some suck.
I wouldn't walk around in that. Would you walk around in that? No, you don't. Look at the shirt you're wearing. You're not wearing a I Love Tradio shirt.
No, I like Affliction stuff.
It's just so silly.
Yeah, and Affliction actually went to an artist and had that created.
Yeah.
They didn't just slap their name in big block letters.
Well, looking at that shirt, I think the artist didn't imagine it on you.
The art's gotten to be pretty big on me.
It's got two big nipples sticking through it. All right, well, you know, but in other words, you come off as
we get it.
Money grubbers. Melrose, you're on the air.
Listen, Howard, I don't want to get into a pissing match with Sal, the Dago, and with Richard Christie, all right? But you're absolutely right, Howard, and you're way too nice to these guys. I don't want a pissing match, Mr. Dago. Shut your fucking mouth.
Melrose is great.
All right,
he
Melrose.
really is.
No, Howard, wait a minute, Howard. You think Chris Rock does this, or Jerry Seinfeld, or Craig Gass, or any great comedians? Come on, you guys are cheapening yourselves.
Jerry Seinfeld, Craig Gass, and who else?
Chris
Rock.
Where did you get those? Where did you get Craig Gass?
Louis Black. No, Craig Gass is brilliant.
Actually, Craig Gass is in his basement right now developing a T-shirt. Chris Rock probably's got a line of T-shirts too.
Probably.
I don't know, but you know, you got to kind of weigh what's worth it and what isn't.
Howard, you're absolutely right.
Right. All right, Melrose.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
How much are the pictures?
The pictures?
Yeah.
You got to go to the richardandsalshow.com. I don't know.
I don't even do websites. You see, Howard's right.
Well,
you don't do that, Richard. You want to be a big star?
You ever go to, like, you talk about Disneyland, what a bunch of rapists. Right. They take a picture of you off that ride.
As you're shitting in your pants going down.
And you have to go buy it. It's like, you know, guys, come on. I mean, you're going to take a professional photographer, going to take a picture of you and then charge for it? I mean, what kind of business is that?
Well, we're not hard-headed.
What are you, bar mitzvah business?
We're taking your advice.
Richard, I want to buy a picture, okay?
Okay.
I want to buy one. Do I have to give you my address right now?
No.
Yeah, give it to us. Go ahead.
I'll give you my P.O. box. Can I do that, Howard?
You don't have to buy one. We'll send you one.
I want to pay for it. How much is it?
Well, you got to come to our show and take a picture with us.
I live in Los Angeles, California.
He wants to know
We're coming to California Memorial Day weekend.
He's trying to get you to say how much it is.
Yeah, how much is the T-shirt?
I want to buy one. I want to pay with Jewish money.
Probably, I think 15 or 20, something like that.
15 to 20. How much autographed?
I think it's 15 regular, 20 autographed.
Can I get a personal autograph from Melrose Larry Green?
You really want to be the guy who does that? You know, I see Gilbert doing that. What a schnurr.
Now that we got reamed for an hour about it,
I don't want to. Listen,
I think it was good advice.
I know.
I want you guys to make money.
I know you do.
But you know, I'm not sure this is the right plan. That's all I'm thinking.
Immediately stop charging more for the autograph. You should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It just looks a little cold. The audience is pretty generous with us as it is. They bought satellite.
Yes.
You know, I understand you guys didn't see that directly, but, you know, maybe, hey, gee, your fans went and purchased the ticket. It's enough. They asked them to spend some money on that. They did it. They probably bought drinks. You know.
Yeah, they did. They're very generous people, and we're
how much
grateful.
more generous
they
you want
are keeping you in the club.
They sure are, and we appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. I know every day, like, people come up to me every day. Do you know if you made a T-shirt, how many they'd sell? I don't care.
Sure.
I'm not saying I always had a lot of money. I made nothing.
No, it's certainly true with you, Howard, because
I never once had that.
20 years ago, when you were when you weren't making money, you could have taken on that opportunity, and you didn't. So it says a lot
the radio station would put a picture of me on the T-shirt, and they would give them away. That I was thrilled. I mean, they'd give away a picture. But if they started charging for it, I would have been embarrassed.
I remember even that you would talk about taking pictures with Imus. It would burn you up, even though they were free. I mean, just getting involved in those promotional things that you thought were cheesy.
Oh, well, I didn't want to be associated with him.
Yeah,
I was better than him.
Right.
And now people used to look at me. You think you're better than Imus? He's the top of the world. I go, it doesn't matter what people think. I know I'm better than him.
Right. You don't want to be lumped in with that shit.
I'm a star. And then they fired me. All right, thank you.
All right.
Howard.
Thank you.
Melrose, please, I got to get out of this.
I want to wish you and Dawn a good
I don't know.
I love when you do that.
All right, boys. You could, but don't.
We got it.
You could sell whatever you want. Just think about it for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Thank you, Howard.
All right, boys. Go ahead.
We love it here, by the way. This is like the greatest job we could ever dream of.
All right. Okay. Everybody loves it. All right, get out of here.
Definitely changed our lives.
Yeah, right. I see you're doing great.
I want to beat my wife, throw her
songs are great.
Just being married's like living in hell. I want to punch her till she shits out her bones. Beat my wife. Dear God, I can't take her. I want to decapitate her and use her head like a bowling ball. Beat my wife.
I wonder if he brought this to therapy, this song. I wonder what the therapist would have said about it.
Wow. Catchy tune.
I think that's the knife being played.
They're booked every weekend for July.
Beat my wife. They're making money, right?
I hope.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's saving any, though.
I mean, the wife sounds like she's buying purses. Well, she's going to have a great collection.
They have kids, right?
Yeah.
They got, well, that's good. I mean, I guess hopefully money's going to the kids.
I'm hoping that the kids are getting clothed and fed.
Well, they seem to be. You know, why should he know?
Yeah, game face is on.
Right. Fred, I'm not going to tell you again how Ken did. As you know, Ken is a Jeopardy champion extraordinaire. You managed to tie him.
Yes.
Not only twice, but now we're into the third round.
All right.
We all want to know who's going to win. There are 0 seconds on the clock.
Congratulations, Ken.
I don't think my heart can take it.
All right. Robin, very nervous for some reason.
Too much suspense.
Here we go. Who did Helen Keller dedicate her autobiography to?
Anne. Oh, fuck. I can't remember her last name. Go ahead.
The disposable razor blade, instead of the existing straight razor, was whose brainchild in 1895?
Gillette.
What positions make up the battery in baseball?
The infield. The pitcher catcher.
For more than 1,000 years, 794 to 1868, which city was the capital of Imperial Japan?
Kyoto.
A group of porcupines is called what?
A herd.
What is the state bird of Texas?
State bird of Texas, Roadrunner.
What famous Wild West legend did Martha Jane Canary grow up to be, or Canary?
Annie Oakley.
All right, do you want to go back to anything? Stop the clock. You're at 47 seconds. Our friend Ken did it in 35 seconds.
He got it.
And you got 4 wrong. He got 3 wrong. So he is the winner.
He is the winner.
Very close.
Very close. Very close.
I'm not embarrassed.
No,
I'm not embarrassed.
You should go hang your head in
Are
shame.
you kidding?
Go home.
Why should you be embarrassed?
Ken, what do you think?
That was no, he did great. That was amazing.
Yeah, but you beat him, and you are.
Those were really, really tough questions.
You are more arrogant than ever, aren't you?
No, no.
You beat Fred. You won Fred's money.
I got to say, this was more exciting than winning all those games of Jeopardy put together. But I'm still humble.
You know, you are a great champion. I see how you don't crack under pressure. And, you know, I was saying to you in the break, the way this information comes to you so rapidly has got to be a genetic thing, like that you and Fred share. Because you not only have this information, but you recall it like that.
You pull it up, yeah.
And I asked you during the break, I said, how old are you now?
I'm 38.
38. When you were on Jeopardy, you were what, 30?
29, 30.
29, 30. Does that ability to pull information out quickly diminish as you age?
I think it does. I feel like I'm a step slower than I was then.
So you feel you were in your prime at 30?
Right.
29, 30, like it was amazing.
We need to get me and Fred, like 29 years old.
That would have been great.
That's right. By the way, I didn't tell you this. Fred is not human. He's a robot. And he has
I tried to tell him.
So to beat a robot is pretty good.
Yeah, this time beat the computer.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to give Fred credit for being older as well.
Well, if it's true
that...
I
don't have to take any pity, George.
Fred,
you're not 31.
Fred, do you feel time diminishes that ability to recall?
You know what? It really, really does. Because
you do feel that?
Absolutely. Because there are times now when I'll go, you know that thing, the remote.
And you can't quite pull it up.
I see when my dad's nice. Every minute he's like, who's that guy?
But I will say, if you start like doing like trivia and things like that, it actually kind of keeps your mental acuity there.
You have to exercise it.
You have to exercise your brain.
That's true.
When I played chess, they said that actually helps you, retain memory and stuff. You a chess player at all?
I'm not, but I do crosswords. They say, like, they did the thing with the nuns and they played crosswords. They didn't get Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
so.
they say that.
Right.
Can you do the New York Times crossword puzzle, get them all right?
Oh, yeah, like Friday, Saturday. I'm pretty good crossword.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, It takes me, half an hour for a hard one. So.
I can get like maybe one answer. and only if they use me as a clue. All right, listen. Ken Jennings.
Does Fred want to know the questions he missed?
He could do that on his own time. Do you want to know, Fred?
Sure, why not?
All right, let me get him out of the garbage here. I was so disgusted with
nothing to your
Ken probably knows the answer.
I threw them right out, to tell you the truth. Okay, let's see. Fred got the autobiography of Helen Keller. You both got that wrong. Do you know what it was? Alexander Graham Bell wrote the. She dedicated the autobiography.
I would have thought she dedicated it to the lady that showed her how to.
Anne Sullivan is what you were looking for.
You both gave the same answer, but you both had it wrong.
Right.
Gillette, you both got that right. Pitcher and catcher and the battery in baseball, I would have had no idea of that. You both got that right. Kyoto.
Nice.
Correct. You both got that right. Both of you did not know what a group of porcupines is called. It's called a prickle. A prickle?
No shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was something cute. I was going to say a pack something or herd.
You both fell apart on the state bird of Texas, which is a mockingbird. You didn't get that right?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought mockingbird was Florida, but I guess they share birds.
What bird did you say it was?
He said a roadrunner.
A roadrunner. Oh, okay. And the last question
killed me.
Ken got right. You did not. It's Calamity Jane.
Yeah, I thought you'd get that one, Fred.
You know what? Because Annie Oakley was. I don't think that was her real name either. So
it was a good guess, by the way. What famous Wild West legend did Martha Jane Canary grow up to be?
That makes sense.
That's Calamity Jane, and Ken pulled that out of his ass.
There you go.
And if you're smart, you'll wear magic underwear because you would have won. Ken, proud of you, man.
Thanks for having me. That was fun.
And it gives me hope for the future that there are guys like you running around, you and Fred. It's awesome. And
they're not running around in the future. They're running around now.
It shows you there are still people around who have this kind of
when we're gone, we're gone.
Genius. The $5,000 prize that you won, Ken. Again, more money in the pot. And Ken Jennings' book, Because I Said So, is available now. It's sort of a mix of trivia and
it debunks myths and theories.
Busting about parenting crap.
Yeah, for example, the crust in the bread isn't any more nutritious than the who told
rest
me that?
Of it.
Ralph got a hold of me and goes, you should just eat the crust. You should just eat the crust. And I've been doing that ever since.
You've been taking crust off the bread and just eating it?
Yeah. You're saying it's the exact same nutritional value.
Right. It's it's the same stuff in the rest of the bread. It just got cooked a little more.
Give me another example of things Ralph has told me that aren't true.
I don't know. Let's see. They say that your parents always say, don't sit too close to the TV. That's bogus. Your eyes are fine. It doesn't matter.
Is that right? It doesn't ruin your... Because sometimes when I'm watching even my mini iPad and stuff, I worry maybe my eyes are getting...
You'll get temporary eye strain, but if you just look away, it goes away. There's no permanent problem.
Right. And there's no radiation coming off the TV or anything?
Nothing. You're fine.
Oh, I'm going to sit close to the TV.
Yeah, there you go. just like Quentin said, watch it on your iPad mini right in front of your...
Give me one more. I love these kind of things. One more example from your book. Can you think of one offhand?
Yeah, your parents always say... what do your parents always say? Oh, you got to drink 8 glasses of water a day, and that's bull. It's that's actually too much. It's dangerous. If you get too much water, it'll mess with your brain.
And isn't it hard work on your kidneys too? I imagine all that water passing through.
Yeah, you should just drink when you're thirsty, not like there's not some certain number of glasses you got to have.
Didn't that get started with like Weight Watchers? Because they used to say if you want to lose weight, drink a lot of water. It'll fill you up. Maybe that was where it all started.
I think so.
All right. And all this nonsense that people say black people have an extra bone in their ankle. That's ridiculous, right?
Your parents said that to you?
Not in the
in private. Yes. Howard, the blacks have an extra bone. What? All nonsense. You debunk it all.
That's right.
All right, good. Ken Jennings, we look forward to reading your book. And for a list of Ken's book signings, a lot of people show up, 80-year-old women sometimes, who want to have sex with you.
Throwing panties?
Really?
It's like a Tom Jones concert in Barnes & Noble.
It's awesome. Go to ken-jennings.com for more information. Great meeting you, man.
Thanks
Way
for
to
having
go.
me. It's a pleasure.
That was fun.
A lot of fun. Robin was way too nervous. She wet her pants during this? She got so nervous.
It's very awkward. That happens on Jeopardy all the time. Don't feel bad.
Last time that happened to her was during a Rolling Stones concert. And you're like the Mick Jagger of Jeopardy. Good for you, Robin. That shows you. You're not jaded. I like that. Let's just say that what? We'll be back right after these words with Robin's news and, of course, the great George Takei right after all of this.
Can describe Fred Norris as a competitor, because you've been through the gamut on Jeopardy.
Tough competitor, man. Like, it's really nerve-wracking watching somebody else play after you, because you got no control anymore, At least on Jeopardy, you're all playing at once. But here, it's like, Fred could kill me here and I could do nothing.
You're just watching that clock and you're waiting.
Just praying.
Right, exactly. What's it like going from a situation where you're dealing with a host, more of a straight-laced host like Alex Trebek, to an interview with a game show mixed into it with Howard Stern? What's this experience been like for you?
I feel like Howard and Trebek have a lot in common. Like, if Trebek retires, I think if Howard wants the job, it's his.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Sure.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John Hyde and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about having the game in, what a great guest he was, how pissed off my son was that he couldn't come in to meet him, how the game told me I fucked up by not letting him come in to meet him, and then people took a bunch of calls and said, why is a white kid from Connecticut acting so black? All on the wrap-up show.
Gary, I know Lucas was just hounding him to come in so he can meet the game, and Gary said no, and like any other teenage kid, if you have them, they'll keep asking and asking and asking, thinking that eventually you'll wear down. And Gary, like me, is a pretty nice dad and will try and do all they can for your kid. But at a certain point, you got to say no, and Gary did, and got to hear about it when the game came in.
It was, was a topic of a conversation. First of all, I've told Lucas, there's two people that if they ever come on, he can come in, which is Eminem and Jay-Z. He wrote book reports on Jay-Z. So, but even that, it depends on what's going on. So it was a school day. I have a long day here today. If I'd have brought him in, he's done. Now what am I going to do with him the rest of the day while I'm going to lunches and having meetings and stuff like that? But the answer was no, and I'm telling you, John, I had this conversation with him no fewer than 7 times from Thursday to Sunday. And so yesterday while I was on the elliptical, he came to me, and I snapped at him. I was like, dude, when does this end? I go, no is no. You've asked me 7 times. Stop it already.
Did he stop?
He harumphed out of the room. And then he went upstairs and he told Mary that I was a dick. Or something like that. That I was being a dick.
Hey, Mom, Dad's being a dick?
Something like that. Dad's being a jerk.
Now, do you feel bad after today, considering the way it went down?
No. Here's 3 unknowns. Well, here's 3 things. First of all, I didn't want to take him out of school. Second of all, like I said, I had this full day. But most importantly, I don't know the game. I've never met him. I don't know whether this is something he's amenable to or he might be annoyed by. Howard's very protective of his guests. You don't let people come up and take pictures. Now, I could have called Howard over the weekend and said, hey, Lucas is really into it. And I know that Howard could have worked it into a bit. Like, hey, I got a kid here who's a big fan, and bring him in. But I just didn't think this was the right day to do it because I didn't know the guy that well. And I also, like I said, he needed to be at school.
Were you surprised Howard even brought it up?
I was shocked. I mentioned it to Howard in passing this morning for like a second. And Howard brought it up. And then, it was funny enough that the game was like, you fucked up, Gary, you fucked up. But the best part was at the end of the interview, he goes, shout out to Lucas.
Now, that's going to make Lucas's year, I'm assuming,
oh, my
right?
God, yeah. He's going to freak out.
So are you now the good dad because this happened, or are you still...
Yeah, but like what I was saying on the air, it was like, okay, I know I can't come in. I'll call and speak to him in the green room. I'm like, says who? Then he's like, I'll give you a note. You'll give it to him. I'm like, you know, says who? You're making this shit up. He's like, okay, tell him I said hello. So I go, okay, I'll tell him you said hello. And he goes, you're not going to tell him. I go, no, I'm not going to tell him.
Josh, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, hey now.
Hey now.
Yeah, Gary, I think you absolutely did the right thing. It probably would have been okay, but who knows? You could have opened up the door for Howard to spend the next hour berating you. You know what I mean?
Well, I would have never brought my son in without talking to Howard about it, and I would have said, it's happened in the past. I think One of my favorite ones ever was Scott's son, who's, what is he, like 30 years old now? He was a big fan of the Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do you remember this one, John?
Yes, but you should tell
it was Corey Feldman was on, and he said, oh, it would be great if one of the Ninja Turtles would call my son. So they call Scott's son, and one of the Ninja Turtles go like, have you ever seen your dad naked? But we've had times where people have brought their kids in, if you ask, because Howard has a great way of working it into the bit. It's funny that a 15-year-old white kid from the suburbs is a huge fan of this stuff.
But you feel awkward asking, and you should feel awkward asking. I mean, they're here to talk to Howard, not to talk to you or your kid.
Right.
So it's a weird sort of circumstance, but the game I thought was a really good guess.
Holy crap. I mean, I looked at the notes on him, and we got pitched him, and I said to Will, I don't know much about this guy. So Will comes back to me, and he goes, just on these preliminary notes, we got to have him on. So Will's full notes were, murders and drugs and gangs and everything. But when he talked about what it's like to get shot, I knew he had Howard. Yeah. Howard loves that stuff.
Well, he was a fantastic guest. He was very honest. He was very blunt about a bunch of different things. But not just the game, but when rappers come in, they have this level of respect for Howard that you can sense.
I was talking to the woman from the record company. Howard has... The reason why I think rappers love Howard, and most rappers do, is because Howard's seen as an outlaw. And I think they see themselves sometimes as outlaws, working outside of the confines of the music business. And Howard's the ultimate outlaw. Howard's been doing it for 30 years, was doing it when they were kids, telling the FCC to go fuck themselves. That's their perception of Howard.
And the game, no matter what Howard threw at him, he had an answer for it. Whether it was his upbringing, dealing with jail, getting shot, dealing with confrontation. And Robin brought up the point, it seems like you still deal with it the way you did when you were growing up. And he's like, yeah, it works for me. And
right.
And at a certain point, I thought he got a little pissed off at Robin. Did you sense that?
A tiny bit. I also like the whole thing about, hey, are you going to see somebody? Going to see a shrink? It's like, yeah, I did that when I was like 12.
Dan in Cincinnati, you're on the wrap-up show.
Gary, you should be ashamed of yourself for raising a wigger. Did he wear his baseball cap sideways and his pants halfway down his ass?
No, he doesn't do that. But he gets in the car and he says, can I plug my iPod in? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to be the good dad. Some days I can't take it. He plugs it in, or he puts on Shade 45 or Hip Hop Nation or any of those stations. And it's like, even my brother was joking around when his son went through it. It's like, how many N-words, fuck yous, and blow me's does this song have?
Yes, Steve Brandano.
Yes, as a former wigger myself, Gary, it's very hard to raise a white kid in the suburbs and not have him go that route.
But what is that? Like my older son, he buzzed right by that.
I don't know, but me and all my friends, for us, it was like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and we loved it and thought we were black and talking about NWA and all that stuff, and I don't know, it's just something that you go through.
I know, and it really is. Like, I try to be the cool dad in the sense, like, I'm not big on language in the sense of I don't want him to use bad language, but I'm not one of those people like, oh, you heard the F word, that's it, it's all over for him. So, we get in the car and it really is like, fuck you, nigga, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, God,
It's got a good beat, though.
On the other hand, he's turned me on to some good music that I would not usually listen to.
Who else around here do you think went through that stage?
Well, we know Sal did.
Yes, Sal may still be in that stage.
Right. He was Cool the Candy Rapper, and he was the head of the Beastie Boys fan club. What was the name of it again? Like Ultimate Beast?
Beastie Nation. Was it Beastie Nation? Oh, Sal, tell us. John Lieberman?
Probably. Teddy. I would think Teddy would be.
I swear I was not. No.
Never?
I told you, I liked The Chronic. That album was good, but my parents wouldn't. My father would literally hit me if I listened.
I believe Will Murray.
Yeah, somebody told me Will Murray. That is a shocker,
right, Ted?
Will gets down with some rap, and JD too. The two of them, they know their rap.
Yeah, JD does. Jason, I know Jason's a big Jay-Z fan now.
Anybody? You, John?
No, I never went through that phase. Although I guess I like Run DMC and De La Soul and bands like that, but I never took on the whole persona, I guess. But yeah, I want to hear what those guys have to say. Did Scott Salem ever go through a phase like that, you think?
That music had not been invented when he was a kid.
888.
Scott was a big fan of race music.
Lewis, you're on the
78.
the wrap-up show. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, I was just wanted to congratulate, Gary on not letting his kid, going in there with the game and all that shit. Because, I'm getting tired of all these little white kids listening to this rap music and thinking they're gangsters out here, I live in the South, and we got an epidemic of these kids, out here thinking they're black
trying to pretend they're from the hood. And it's like, dude, you live in a rich area, and then you act like an asshole out here. They're going to get shot, you know? They're going to get shot when they meet real dudes that don't play around, you know? And it's a good thing that Gary doesn't push that. On top of that, you know, you need to stay away from that, believing that, teaching that Eminem is like the king of rap, because he's totally lame. He cries about his mom on his records. I mean, that's fucking lame. And this whole epidemic of white kids thinking that he's the best rapper is even worse, too, you know? So, and another thing, just a quick thing, as far as, you know, that Mexican singer that died, I wonder if this is going to affect, you know, Howard's thoughts on traveling, because that girl actually died traveling to host the show, The Voice, the Mexican version of The Voice. And she was actually going to film that. That's why, and they told her not to go. I think there was like bad weather, and she flew over there, and that's how she died. So I'm curious to think, you know, to find out if that's going to affect Howard and his whole AGT things and traveling and shit.
So Lewis brings up two topics.
I'm not even talking about the second topic.
Yeah, the second one I don't think we're going to broach. But the first one, are you concerned that you're not raising your child right?
No.
Based on what Lewis has to say here?
I think I find this like any other kind of music that you're into. It's like a phase that you go through. Like I was into, you know, rock music when I was a kid, but I went through the punk phase. That's how old I am. And so I wasn't a punk, but, you know, you go through that stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. He's into the music. He goes to school. He's not taking on some crazy lifestyle. He's not wearing colors and carrying a Glock.
Will Murray, Gary found it very surprising that you're into this type of music.
Tell me about it, Will.
No, absolutely. I think, like you guys were saying earlier, every kid goes through it. I think my age and moving up, yeah, one of the first albums I ever got was 2 Live Crew, Boys in the Hood, Ghetto Boys, NWA.
See? Will's there.
Early Ice Cube before he became an enormous pussy. Wu-Tang Clan, all those guys. I grew up with all the, you know, those are what we all listened to.
My nephew went through this phase, and I remember he lived down in Texas, and he wanted to go to the Wu-Tang Clan store, which was on Staten Island. I remember my father taking him there. My father goes, it was like in the worst neighborhood. And they went to the Wu-Tang Clan store so he could buy like Wu-Tang jackets and shirts and shit.
I wonder who is into it the most, though. Would it be Sal? Lieberman?
I would like to know what Lieberman, I know he rapped when he was younger, but I would love to know his influences and what got him there.
Robert in Denver, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, Gary, there's nothing wrong. You're doing nothing wrong with Lucas. He's going to be perfectly fine when he grows up. I just think people blow this out of proportion. I even hate the term wigger. I'm a black guy in Denver. I listen to rock music, you know, am I a white guy? You know, it's just music. The thing is, nowadays, rap is rock and roll. They're the rock stars like The Who and all them were back in the day. So the kids gravitate to what's cool, and what's cool is rap music. You may not like all the lyrics, but people, it's amazing to me that people listen to it and don't worry about, well, why are they so angry? You know, and try to look into that aspect. They just think it's a whole bunch of angry black people for no reason. I think you're doing a great thing. I think, actually, you did a great thing not bringing them to the studio. To me, even though I'm a big fan myself.
Well, thank you, Robert. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting somebody listen to music. You know, it's probably the way people are like, you shouldn't let them listen to that, or probably the same people who said you shouldn't let your kids listen to Elvis.
Well, if you told him not to listen to it, he'd listen to it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and by the way, they have more tools to listen to it now.
Yes.
You know, they got the iPhone and their computer. I mean, back in the day when you said don't listen to Elvis, I guess you had to go under your covers and crank up the record player or something.
Will Murray, the game delivered, huh?
He was awesome. Yeah, very honest and angry dude, and it was great.
Hi, this is Jason, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show, we got into the fact that Sirius and Ross Zapin did not allow Fred to take his daughter to the One Direction concert here. Howard was livid, said heads would roll and people would pay, and I kept the fires flaming on the wrap-up show. Check it out.
Early in the show, Howard spent a lot of time yelling about Fred not being able to have his kids see One Direction.
We were still talking about that. That's why I was late. We were still talking about that after the show ended.
Oh, Howard's still fired up?
Well, because word had gotten back to Howard that somebody that works here was yelling at me in my office, and I explained that he wasn't yelling at me, that he was just passionate about the conversation, that there's, you know, two sides to both stories. And then somebody goes, well, all I know is the door was closed and I heard yelling. And so it's just like it's turning into, I'm in the middle of this thing. In this, and the person that I'm dealing with, I keep saying it's really not about you. You're because he doesn't get to make that decision. But somebody here is taking it very personally.
Why would that person take it so personally?
Because they run a lot of the events here, but I don't think they get the final say on who gets to, Howard and I were talking that there is a lot that goes on here that's very behind the velvet ropes. Like, you can't come to this, you can't come to that. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on times where some people are excluded. And this person was trying to explain to me that, hey, when you have a person of Oprah's caliber, or like the mania that's going on with One Direction, which will be over in 6 months, that everybody wants to come, and so it's hard to accommodate everybody.
Is it the situation where the person you're talking about feels like they're doing all they can, but their hands are really tied in this situation, or are they sort of defending this is the reason why?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. But also, like, hey, I put on the event and it's unfair to me because I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Well, I don't know, but Howard was really pissed.
And he's still pissed.
I know. Well, this morning when we were in there, the second he heard about it, you knew it was going to be,
I was bummed because it came up on the wrap-up show or something when I played in the clip, and then Howard got fired up. And I have that 20 minutes, and if he's going to be spending 4 minutes pissed off, then it throws me off track.
Yeah.
But I got to let him have his emotions.
But, I mean, his argument comes more from there are a lot of people who work very hard here on the talent side of things. And when it comes to this type of stuff, the corporate side of things gets rewarded versus, if you keep your talent happy, everybody's going to benefit.
I agree with him to some extent. I agree with him on that. That, I don't know. It's always sort of, I feel now more than ever, there's two worlds. There's the Howard Stern show and the rest is serious.
Mm-hmm.
But, listen, we do have a compound that's key carded that no one else can get into unless we say so.
That's true. But there's the relationship. Well, I don't know. It's deteriorated. Yeah.
The relationship has deteriorated. It really is, we're an island now. And I think Howard's feeling that and not happy about it.
Hello, Ralph Sorella.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. I think that whole thing with New Direction and
One
Fred,
Direction.
not One Direction, whatever. Like, thank God I don't know. When I heard that Friday, because we were there, and it was like presidential lockdown, God, it was ridiculous. It's such a slap in the face to Howard. I mean, because it's really, that's what it all boils down to, because you say no to Fred, you say no to Howard. Fred is just as responsible for the success of the Howard Stern show as Howard in a lot of ways, and how insulting. I was shocked when I heard it Friday. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
You should have heard Ross Zapin defending it this morning. He thinks it's the greatest move in the world. Oh, you don't know how much stuff Fred asked for. Yeah, Ross, we know what side you're on.
But there's a lot of, listen, I want to get started with Ross, but there's a lot of people there who forget that they might not have a job if the Howard Stern show didn't come to Sirius. What was it, 600, Gary, how many subscribers?
400,000.
You think One Direction is going to come to a radio station with 400,000 listeners? I don't think so.
But you're right, Ralph. Howard
knocking out XM, and then, it's a lot of ego involved, and, like you said, it is an island now, but, boy, what a shame. I mean, people take a step back and realize, how can you insult Fred like that?
It wasn't an insult to Fred.
You're right,
You don't know.
Ralph. I think your assessment is right. It's as much as it hurts Fred, it's a slap in the face to Howard, and that's certainly how Howard's taking it, and he's going to push back on it, rightfully so.
And Ralph's right. It's the sort of the bigger shame is, we all arrived with such promise, and I remember like our first days here, and that's all gone. It's all sort of dissipated.
Well, it's completely gone. But I also felt bad for Fred on a personal level of him having to say no to his daughter. It's like, this is a cool thing that he should be able to do for his daughter, being in the media, and this is coming in, and it's like, and he has to say no to her, and that must have just been a horrible thing as a father to. I don't even have kids, and I can relate to that.
I said this years ago when I first had my kids. I remember I used to spend my whole life scrambling to get great Bruce Springsteen seats, and then when your kids are born, you're scrambling to get in the purple circle at the Barney concert because it just means so much to them. And you want to do the best for your kids.
Those Barney tickets were tough.
They were fucking tough to get.
To give you the other side of the serious coin, it's funny when this stuff doesn't work out. Like when Paul McCartney or One Direction does something, like they send out memos, you can't come to this, blah, blah, blah. Don't even ask. And then I remember they had a Toby Keith concert a couple years ago, and they sent out a similar memo like that. And then the afternoon of the concert, I got frantic phone calls from several people here at Sirius begging me to come and bring whoever I want to the concert because they couldn't fill seats. I was like, yeah, now you need me.
Gary, do you think this can be bridged in some way? Do you think it can be repaired, or are we on a road that you've been down before?
This road.
That's the question he knows the answer to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this road is, we're like in the Indianapolis 500 at full fucking speed. There's no turning back. And I mean, if you could read between the lines, it's about Fred and his daughter, and it's about so much more than that.
This road is like True Lies. Remember when they're crossing that giant bridge and the plane comes down to shoot at and completely destroy it?
Who makes $23 million? Howard threw that number out there today.
About who?
I don't know. He just said, "Hey, you're making $23 million a year, and you can't let Fred come into the One Direction."
I don't know.
Is that Ross?
No.
All right, thanks, Ralphie. On Wednesday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about Scott Salem. Scott declares that there is no black cloud. He bowled 300. People remembered his birthday. Things are looking up for Scott, which means it'll turn very quickly. Here's how the conversation went. Scott, the engineer, bowled a 300.
You know, there was a funny thing going on around here. He put it up on this website that we use internally, Moldred. And somebody made the point, let's just ignore it. And so we all sort of were.
And it was going to be ignored until Lieberman went in with the news story.
But it's a huge deal.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Scott. And Howard offered to buy that gold ring for him.
Which is how much? $1,200?
$1,200. And I don't think Scott was fishing for that.
He wasn't.
But he didn't exactly refuse it when it was offered to him.
You got to give the obligatory, no, that's too nice.
Did he give the obligatory?
No. He goes, Howard goes, I'm going to buy it for you. He goes, that's awesome. Thank you.
Scott Salem, what do you want? I saw you run down here. Congratulations on your 300, which was being ignored by everyone, but it was actually came up today.
That's all right.
Now, did you not refuse the ring when Howard offered to buy it, or did you say thank you and accepted his offer?
I said thank you, and I accepted his offer.
So you didn't even give the no. You didn't even fake taking out the wallet.
No faking.
Oh my God, Howard, that's too much.
No, I really appreciate it.
That is awesome. That's really awesome of him to do that. And it's awesome to have the ring. I know it's bowling. It's not like a cotton bowl ring, but still, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's everything to Scott. I mean, he spent so much time bowling. He's gotten really, I'm sure he's come close before. But to get that last, that 10th frame and hit all those 3 strikes, that's a pretty big deal. Major accomplishment. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you. That's awesome. I mean, it's really, it's great. Now that, it never happened in league, so I'm really like, I'm still in shock.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was telling John I used to bowl a lot when I was a kid, and when I was 15 years old, I bowled 8 strikes to start a game. And when I got to the 9th frame, the entire alley had come to a halt. And it must have been 150 people behind me watching. My legs were weak. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, man.
Did you get any lucky breaks, or did you have it the whole way?
I got one on the 11th. It was, like I said, it was kind of like an iffy ball, but I got a lucky break. The other 11 were perfect.
Do you feel 12? Isn't it 12?
It's 12, but
right.
I threw 11 perfect ones.
Now, do you feel like, I know, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you feel like things may be turning around, that the black cloud is drifting away? And
there it goes.
Sunnier skies loom?
Yeah, I mean, I never really felt that there was a black cloud, but, things are looking very good now.
Well, that's not true. You came in and said, you talked about something that happened with your mother and your family, and you said that your mother told you there was a black cloud.
I said my mother told me, but that doesn't mean that I believe that it would happen to me. I mean, she said it was over the family.
So you've never subscribed to the theory that your life's under a black cloud?
No, I don't. I really don't. I have a great family. I have a great job. Bad things happen in everybody's life. Did they happen to me more? I don't think so.
I think this is what I think. I think Scott's right. Where the grand scheme of things, he doesn't have a black cloud because he's got a job and a family and everything like that. I just feel like good things and lucky things don't happen to Scott often, or as often as they do to other people.
Did everyone forget your birthday?
No, not really. No one forgot it.
Wow, things are turning for you. I'm happy for you.
Howard
really.
walked in and he remembered. Even the first thing he said was happy birthday.
12.
Well, yeah. And 60 years old.
Oh, you're 60?
60, yeah.
Holy
Big 6-0. And a perfect game, but wow, things are looking up.
I know.
You're only 60. You got a ton of time.
I can bowl now in the senior tournaments in the next bracket, so it makes it easier.
Are you going to bowl in this upcoming tournament?
I would love to bowl, and if we can work out the schedule again like we did last year. I don't know what our show schedule is yet.
We don't have our show schedule, but I got to back it up for a second. You're 60?
Yeah.
When I met Scott, he had a baby.
My baby's 27 years old now.
When I met Scott had been out of work for a year, had worked at like WPLJ, WABC, was happy to be working and had a baby. That, you know, I thought that was a young person.
How long have you worked on the show for, Gary?
A long time.
Yeah.
But I know, but I don't look at it that way. I know.
I understand. It's all relative.
My son was born on the same day I found out that I got the job here in the show. So, yeah, I mean, that was good luck.
No, I can't believe that.
It's a long time.
I really can't believe that Scott's 60. So you're older than Robin, right?
No, she's...
Did she just turn 60?
She just turned 60 also. We were born the same year.
I'm working with all these old fuckers.
Ronnie, I see you over there. Early in this show, Gary and I were asking Scott, you know, why didn't he say, when Howard offered to get him the ring, he just took it? Like, he didn't say, nah, it's okay. I'll, you know, do you think, I mean, did Scott do the right thing there?
I don't know.
No.
That's starting to sound like JD.
It was a gift. I thought it was very gracious.
Yeah, I thought it was nice of him, but you know, Scott will jump at anything for free.
No,
I'm seeing a bunch of people on the phone that's saying that you can get your 300 ring for free, and then there's a more expensive one.
I said that you can get. They give you a really cheap one for free, and there are different levels that you can upgrade to. And the gold,
$1,200.
The gold one is the best one you can get. Is John Lieberman said it was 12. I thought it was like 1,000. I don't even know what it cost really.
Gold is so tacky. They make like a white gold, or
they make
titanium or something.
They make I was trying to find out what they make actually. They make a lot of them, so you probably couldn't order a white gold.
John, I was thinking like, you know, World Series, Super Bowl, definitely. I mean, the 300 ring I think is a cool thing to have, but would you wear it?
If I was Scott, I would. I mean, he prides himself on his bowling. It means so much to him, and I think it shows the other bowlers that, you know, he accomplished something that nobody else. Although, maybe it's like wearing your gold medal after you win an Olympic event.
No. Listen to me. I've seen Scott walking into that bowling alley, some bad music playing, the ring just glistening off the fluorescent lights. He's going to be the king of the bowling alley.
I said
nobody, nobody that I know that I bowl with who has a 300 ring wears it.
Right.
Howard said you have to wear it, I think, right?
Now he said I have to wear it.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal.
That's the deal, man.
I thanked him after the show. I thanked him very much.
I would get titanium, though, if I was you. Not gold.
Titanium.
But you know what's going to happen, John? It's even Will get sucked in. Like, we'll go to a party, and he'll be wearing it, and we'll be like, can I see your ring? Because you just want to see it.
Sure. Have you asked other people? Have you seen their ring at all, Scott?
Is it big, like a Super Bowl ring?
Get old. I'm telling you, there's like 100 different variations. You can create your own 300 rings.
Well, how do they know? Otis has got a shitload of them. He's got like 9 of them.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him wear one once.
You know, Jason's right. How do you prove that you got the 300?
Yeah, what do you have to send in your score?
Could I get a 300 ring?
Can I?
I bowled it in a league, so it's recorded score by the league in a USBC, United States Bowling Congress sanctioned league. That's how you get it.
So if I went on this website, they would not sell me a ring.
They probably wouldn't sell you the ring. That's
I
correct.
disagree. I think
guys, this year
Jason
I said
has
I
a
wasn't going to
project.
get Christmas presents for everybody, but now I am. Everybody
some rings.
Everybody bowled a 300.
Yeah, I don't believe because you have to fill out paperwork. They have to actually document the serial number of the bowling ball.
What?
Yeah. To make sure it was legal in
bowling balls have serial numbers.
Every one of them.
What?
When I bowled
my whole life.
Every one of them have a serial number.
You're kidding.
No,
they're all 0.
You can be disqualified if the wrong serial number is
actually, when I
reported?
bowled in a PBA tournament last year, I brought one ball that didn't meet standards. They wouldn't let me use it.
Wow.
Even though it was made by a reputable company.
Was it corked?
It wasn't a registered bowling ball.
Who knew?
It has
They check?
Is there anything
They do check.
Is there anything lower than cheating at bowling?
No.
Morning, Tiki. How are you today?
Other than a tad bit sleepy, all's good.
Are you nervous at all?
No.
Should I be?
Well, I was going to ask you faced defensive linemen, linebackers.
How tall is Howard?
Stern? 6'5".
That might be a tad bit intimidating. How big is he?
He's pretty skinny, man.
Okay, then I can take him.
Good luck today, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, here comes Tiki Barber. Tiki's got a new business he's promoting.
Do you know Tiki Barber? Do you know who he was?
Yeah, I know. Listen, what do I know about football? But I'll talk to Tiki. He'll inform me. How you doing, Tiki? Good to see you.
And he has a twin brother, I think.
Tiki's got I don't know that much about football, Tiki. I'm kind of a girl, but no offense.
Robin's right. I do have a twin brother.
Rondé.
He's still playing, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing all right.
Identical twin. Two good-looking guys.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Coming from you, I think that's a compliment.
Nothing sadder when you see a twin and it's two ugly dudes, It's like,
wait a minute. You know what I saw the other day, and I said, now this is a real shame. Ashton Kutcher has a twin brother.
Yeah.
Why did I not know that? Identical
he
twin,
must be hiding
fraternal?
it. He's fraternal.
Oh, that's
and
why.
Ashton got the looks.
Are you fraternal?
No, we're identical.
Identical.
Yeah, we're what we call the freaks of twins, because fraternal twins happen pretty frequently, but identical twins, the zygote has to split, which is a genetic kind of defect. So if identical twins happen, something kind of went wrong, but obviously very right.
Did you hate being a twin?
No, I loved it.
In a sense, though, it's so I can't imagine having a twin. It's hard to form your own identity, and you're both football players. It's sort of annoying if you want to sort of carve your own life.
But the good thing about us being twins is that when we were young, we were very shy. So if I didn't know you, I wouldn't look at you, much less talk to you. So I had somebody there to insulate me. So we had this. My mom used to tell us that we have this little twin speak, and it was really not twin speak. We were just mumbling because we knew each other's mannerisms, so we knew what we were saying, even though we weren't speaking anything audible.
Where'd
you
grow
comfortable. Roanoke, Virginia, Southwest Virginia. My mom and dad were both Hokies at Virginia Tech. My dad was a football star there. They got divorced when we were about 2, and my mom raised me.
And your dad took off, right? Same old story.
He did. It was in the late 70s. Those things that were going on around those times. My mom said, I don't want that around my kids, and so he was out of our lives.
He was into drugs?
Drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. And so my mom kicked him out, basically, and we didn't see him again for, 10 years, 12 years.
You pissed off at him?
Not really. More indifferent. And even to this day, we don't really have a relationship with him because he wasn't there during the formative years of our lives.
What's he doing now?
Did he show up
interestingly,
at some point?
He did. He showed up once when we were in 7th grade.
Let me guess, when you were famous and making millions.
No. My last collegiate game was against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And obviously his alma mater, and he showed up there, and it was a awkward interaction because I didn't know what to say to him. Right, I know there's some relationship and connection that needs to be made, but I didn't know what to say to him. So fast forward, he got his life together. He got remarried, and he went to Oral Roberts University, and now he's an ordained minister.
But doesn't that make you angrier? Like in the sense that you got it together, and then you come fucking.
He tried to reach out. He tried. He came to a couple games because he's in Oklahoma. He came to the game we played in Dallas. I met my half brother. But I
bet he doesn't play football that
He actually did.
He did?
He did.
Was he a professional?
No. He was actually pretty good in high school, but he blew his knee out, I think, his senior year, so he didn't make it. But they both went off to college, my half-brother, my half-sister.
Did you ever turn to your dad and go, hey, man, you really fucking blew it. You should have stayed with us.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we're way better. We went pro.
My mom's doing all right now.
Were you the greatest running back that ever lived?
Hell no. You crazy?
Are you or no?
No, not at all. You know what? I came into the NFL at a time when running backs needed to do everything. So they had to carry the ball between the tackles. They had to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. They had to be smart enough to stay on the field on third downs and protect your quarterback. And it was pioneered by Marshall Faulk. That era lasted about 10 years.
Teach me something, though. I think the running back's the dude who offensively has to run through all those other dudes.
Yeah, you do. You do. But the game changed, right? So Marshall Faulk came into the league. He was this dynamic, super fast, athletic, but highly intelligent player who didn't have to leave the field. And with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis before he went to St. Louis, he was the second field general. He changed the nature of the position. I came into the league right on the heels of that. So it fit my style. I was smart enough. I was fast enough. I was tough enough to run between the tackles. But what quickly happened after I retired is you started using 2 or 3 guys to fill that one role, and it's kind of changed the game a little bit because I think it's a competitive disadvantage.
Does it piss you off that when you were playing for the Giants, they never won?
We had some good seasons. We went to 1 Super Bowl.
Right, but then when you leave, they win.
Well, you know what? It's time for everybody. I was having this conversation with someone about Pacquiao, and he got knocked the hell out couple days ago. Yeah. And Freddie Roach was saying everybody knows, right? An athlete, you look great. On field, you're still putting up great seasons. In the ring, you're still, you look fantastic. Your body's in great shape. But right? You know that you've missed that step, or if you've lost that step, and it's going to fall off the cliff pretty quickly. That happened.
Well, that
to me.
was the question about you, because did you retire too early? That's what a lot of people ask.
Fans think you retired too early.
From a fan perspective, probably, because I could have given you a couple 1,400-yard seasons, and continue to get beat up and get more concussions or whatever. I could have kept doing it.
But the rumor was,
but I was done.
The rumor was
physically and mentally
that your ex-wife had put a lot of pressure on you to quit.
No, not at all. It had nothing to do with my ex-wife. It had everything to do with, honestly, Howard, being in New York. I didn't see you here a lot, but I was doing media for 10 years. I was right down the hallway doing Sirius with my brother, and I took a trip to Israel because I met Shimon Peres, who's a former premier. I had lunch at the State Department with Condoleezza Rice. So all these other things
were going
and they were becoming more interesting to me.
Yeah.
And so I lost a passion to do what I was, made a professional career out of, because I was getting beat up. I couldn't go home and play with my kids because my knees were hurting and my body was aching. And so I said, I got all these other opportunities. Let me do that. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't think we were close as a team to winning a Super Bowl.
So when you...
And then a year later...
Boom, it happened.
Because you're right. Don't you think your position as a football player is the second most important position on the team next to the quarterback? And I mean, you're going to get your ass slammed.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
In a sense, because you can either take pressure off a quarterback or put a lot of pressure on him. And if you're smart enough and you're strong enough and you're tough enough, you give your offense a competitive advantage by being able to do everything. And that's what I mean. They've mixed up the offenses now where there's 2 or 3 guys. I think it gives defenses a hint on what's happening.
I can't imagine what it's like getting hit by that.
You're talking
about,
and the guys are bigger.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Bigger, stronger, they're faster.
When you say your knees hurt, are your knees now better, or do you still wake up with that?
I have bone spurs in my right knee. At some point, I'm probably going to need a reconstruction, but I'm keeping it together. I'm still in good shape. I'm working out pretty regularly. Every now and then. So I played a flag football game last weekend with some folks, and we booked this through my new company, which we'll get to later.
We will get to, yeah.
But they were serious football players. So at this point in my life, I'm just an average weekend warrior, right? So these guys were wearing me out, running down the field, and I woke up yesterday morning and my knees were killing me.
Yeah.
My hamstrings were killing me, and I think to myself, if I had kept playing, would I even been able to do that? Probably not.
So would you say to a guy in the NFL right now, hey, dude, use your head. Get the fuck out of here before you're crippled.
Well,
what do you say to your brother?
Well, my brother doesn't get hit anymore. He plays safety and defensive back, and it's his 16 years in the NFL are a testament, one, to his resiliency, but two, he's smart. So he used to lead the team in tackles, right? He used to be, I'm the little guy, but I'm going to go in there and make 100 tackles a year. Now he's said, you know what, I'm going to be smart about this. Playing for a long time is much more important. But I would tell guys, especially to think. Right? Think about your life down the line, and especially given the brutal nature of the NFL and some of these issues that are starting to come to light.
Concussions and guys with Alzheimer's and dying, the
NFL has an existential problem in some ways, because if at some point we start saying X percent, whether that be 5, 10, 15, or 20% of former football players are dying unnaturally because of their time in the NFL, they've opened themselves up to a massive class action suit, but also the viability of the game is going to diminish, because you as a father or you, Robin, as a mother, are not going to let your kid play football. And so the best athletes aren't going to be playing the game. And so something needs to be done. I don't have a clue what it is, but it's starting to get troublesome. And
I was going to say it's already happening.
Well, it's happening, and it is evidenced by Javon Belcher, which we saw. Some of these things compound. So we don't know anything about his mental state. We don't know if he had mental illness. illnesses. We don't know if his concussion from a couple weeks earlier had any effect, but we do know that he was self-medicating, right? That he was taking whatever it was, and he was abusing alcohol. Right. He slept in his car, for Christ's sakes, the morning that he got up and killed his girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins. So there's something wrong there that the NFL doesn't quite have a grasp on. And then it's, you get 1 week later and we have the kid in Dallas who's drunk driving and kills his teammates. So there's something going on that the NFL has to get their hands on.
The business is so big and it's such a popular sport that everyone's just got to hide their head in the sand and just say, let's hope this goes away.
Well, here's the real thing. And the NFL, the NBA, sports in general, teams in specific are really just microcosms of the world. Right? There's going to be guys that have mental problems. They're going to walk into someplace and shoot somebody. There's going to be domestic abuse. There's going to be idiots that get behind the wheel after they've been drinking everywhere. But when it happens to a professional sports figure or just a professional, someone who has fans and the media pays attention
it's highlighted.
It's highlighted. It's going to get blown up. So unfortunately, all this stuff is kind of happening right on top of each other. And I think it's a wake-up call for the league and for all leagues in general, but more importantly for the players in the leagues. Right? Everything that you do, someone's watching.
I feel like the players are sort of saps. They don't see themselves as entertainers.
Well, they see themselves,
and they don't go ahead and really hold the NFL to the... You guys should be able to make as much money as you can. Absolutely. You're entertainers. You're giving your knees. You're giving your bodies. You're the guys making the money in this NFL. You should be anyway. But the owners are really keeping an unusually large piece of the pie, and they should pony up and help the players.
And the good thing in the NFL, which is not true for the other major professional leagues, is that we have a pretty good pension, post-retirement benefits, which you need, because at some point as an athlete, you go through this stage of arrested development, may it be 15 or 16.
Do all the guys get that?
No. Well, yeah.
They get this pension?
If you become a vested veteran, that means you play
And how
3
long
games
does that take?
3 years and 3 games. So, which is often why you see a guy who's on the verge, he'll get cut. Because the team doesn't want to be responsible for that pension, and it's so easy to bring in another guy, a rookie or a free agent or whoever it may be. But as I was saying, there's an arrested development point. It's either 15 or 16 or 17 where you start getting coddled. Right? You stop developing being a grown up. So how to pay your bills, how to take care of insurance, how to do these things that the average person in the world has to figure out.
And the players should get some sort of education because they will embarrass the league if they don't.
Howard, they do. And to the NFL's credit, to every team's credit, they do get that education. The problem is you just don't listen. Right? You think you're invincible.
You know it all.
You get behind the wheel of a car and you drive drunk because you know what? Nothing's going to happen to me. I get in an airplane.
It'll be taken care of.
Exactly.
And here's a guy's wealtly enough they could hire someone to drive him home from a bar or a party, right?
They should.
Yeah, they don't.
And there's entrepreneurs all over the world, especially in the world of professional sports.
Right.
There are businesses that have popped up to do just that.
Right.
And it doesn't cost that much.
Right.
All right. It's $1,000 to have someone drive you around, an ex-police officer or even a current police officer,
and keep you out of trouble.
Keep you out of trouble to make sure that you don't get in that fight, that you don't walk around with a handgun, that you don't get behind the wheel of a car, that you don't do something stupid.
Is the problem that the career comes so easily to guys who are really superior athletes?
It feels easy.
It feels easy, and you don't. And then when it's gone, you realize, my God, I could have played this a whole different way.
You're right. It feels easy because you were given a God-given gift.
Yeah, but here, like
that works through that gets enhanced through unbelievable hard work.
Right.
And that hard work is fun. Right, but if to the layperson, if Joe from down the street tried to do what that I did or any of these guys did to get ready, he would crap out and.
What are the odds of a guy making it into the professionals? Because how many guys did you know in college who were great players who weren't good enough to make it in the pros?
Half of my team.
Isn't that insane?
3/4 of my team, and even the ones that did make it, only 10% lasted.
Are those guys the saddest stories in football? The ones who get as far as college, they're really good.
No,
but actually,
Howard, those are the best guys.
Why? Because they get out. Are they prepared?
Because they've learned all the principles of hard work, right? Of teamwork, of dedication, of busting your ass. But now you're not doing it professional, and so now you walk a corporate ladder. Right? You get in a corporate ladder, you have all these things that you've learned in an accelerated form because you played a sport, and it sets you ahead above your other peer who might not have that
A lot of companies want to hire a jock because all men look up to them, and they're either excellent salespeople or business leaders, right?
You're telling stories that you can't, you're given an experience that you can't get anywhere else. I played in the Rose Bowl, or I played in the national championship.
A lot of companies will hire a guy who's had a great sports career because, hey, you know what? This guy, everyone wants to hang with him. We take him out and we have parties.
Think about it. A lot of companies they're just commodities, right? You could choose one company or the other. So you want to take the one that you like the best,
most fun,
most fun. This guy is going to, he has access to tickets to, the Jets game or the Giants game, or he can speak to this or that and the other. He differentiates himself. So that's why athletes who don't make it actually have a leg up on their peers.
As a New York Giant, you had a lot of goodwill in the sense that, hey, you're a great player, people love you, this and that. So when you retire, you become critical of Eli Manning. You know, you're an honest guy. You said, screw it. I'm going to talk about what you felt that Eli wasn't playing up to snuff.
It wasn't even about him playing up to snuff because he was gradually and almost exponentially getting better every year after year after year.
But you were frustrated with him. Because,
of course I was.
Yeah.
Of course, because I was 31 years old and at the end of my career, and we were starting Kurt Warner, who was leading us on a great season, Eli's first year, and then we replaced him. And all of a sudden, now at 28, 29, I'm starting over with a rookie quarterback who's we know he's going to get there, because he has the pedigree, but I'm going to miss it. Right. And I kind of felt I was going to miss it. So here's what happens. So I leave the game, obviously, as we talked to and alluded to earlier. I get right into media, going to work for the Today Show and Football Night in America. My very first show, and it was a preseason show of most people did not even see it. I guarantee you, 95% of the people who say, "Oh, fuck Tiki," he's whatever, did not even see what I said or heard what I said. 2 days go by. Whatever. It was a stupid comment. I was trying.
What was the comment you made?
I was saying that Eli's leadership skill is because the way he talks and the way his manner is, it's funny, right? It's not. I'm not
He's
saying
awkward and
I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It's entertaining, right? I mean, we shoot basketball in the with our tape balls after we did our ankles, and we try to shoot it into the the trash can. And we'd always be rejecting each other and stuff like that. One day I'm shooting at Eli, butt ass naked, comes and just rejects it right in my face. I'm like, what are you doing, Eli? But it was funny, right? But that was how he engaged with folks. And so I said, Eli's leadership, ability it's like comical. And I didn't mean it in a bad way, right? I meant it to be funny. It didn't come off that way.
But wasn't there a new...
2 days later, 2 days later, whichever one of these beat brag guys goes to Eli and says, "Tiki said your leadership ability is comical."
Oh, dear.
Right. It was taken out of context.
Taken unbelievably out of context, and he responded to it.
What did he say?
Tiki's made that transition. He's in the media. He doesn't, he's forgotten. Whatever it was, it didn't matter. It created two silos, my silo and Eli's silo.
Did you call him?
I called him the next day.
And did you get a hold of him?
I did not get a hold of him. I called him the next day and said, "Eli, I apologize. That did not come out the way it was supposed to. I did not mean any offense." You never heard any of that. You never will.
So you left that on a voice?
Did you
I left it on a voicemail. I saw him subsequently, and we were fine. It became a media storm for a week, 2 weeks, and then they go through the season, the ups and downs of that 2007 season. We all remember it. They were playing horribly at the end of the year, and then they hit that spark.
Right.
They
gelled.
Exactly.
They
played the New England Patriots in the preseason and the regular season, end of the season. They lost, but they hung with them. Right. And it gave them confidence and a belief that they could play with anybody. They carried that through the playoffs and then beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Because the Giant fans booed you at some point.
They still boo me.
Yeah, right. Because they consider you a guy who retired too early. They're mad at you for protecting your body and retiring too early.
Exactly. And I missed the Super Bowl.
And
so the correlation doesn't make sense.
Well, the fan thinks you hurt the team by leaving early, and then the fans were even more elated because you left early, and then they won the Super Bowl without you.
Of course.
So you're the enemy.
They can hold it above me. It's like a Shakespearean play.
Are you hurt by that? Does that affect your life?
Not really.
When you walk around the street, do Giant fans say to you, "Hey, Tiki, fuck off"?
No, actually, Giants fans say, "I appreciate what you did for us." I think time has made them realize, you know what? I was just a great player. And the only thing that ever hurts me is when people are ignorant and say things like, "You sucked," or "You were horrible," or whatever. that diminished what I accomplished as a player and what I did for the New York Giants for 10 years.
Do you think that also when you're a broadcaster and you suddenly have a show to do and you have to make commentary, you have to fill up time?
But you know what, Howard? People didn't do it. People didn't do it before I did it. Right? They didn't come out of retirement or
you
retire.
were the first.
I was one of the first, really. They retired and was critical. I wasn't a homer. If you asked me a question, I was going to give you a truthful answer.
Right.
And people should have known that because I did that when I was playing.
But didn't you find, too, when you were a broadcaster, I find this a lot. I'll do a show, and then suddenly I read in the paper that I said something outrageous, and I read it, and I go, oh, my God, did I even say that?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you're trying to fill airtime. You're trying to keep people engaged and entertained.
You're right. You have to.
And if you care about your job, you have to keep the dialogue going.
You have to talk. You have to give something interesting because otherwise you're boring and people are just going to switch the channel.
I mean, yes, you could have easily not said that about Eli Manning, even as you were saying, hey, yeah, it was kind of comical.
But it was insignificant. That's my point.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yet it's always something like that that blows up in your face,
Of course, it always does, and especially when you're new to it, and people are looking to be critical.
You know what people have said to me? That your broadcast career, Strahan got your career.
Strahan's different, though.
Is he?
I mean, people may say that.
Strahan's on a roll. He's working with Kelly Ripa.
But it's a different world.
But you wanted to be more than just a sportscaster.
Absolutely. Michael Strahan, and you know, as an aside, I love Mike, and I love what he's doing with Kelly and Michael for one reason. Well, two reasons. One, because it perfectly fits his personality.
Right.
He's an entertainer till the day he dies. But two, it's an African-American face.
Right.
And personality on national television.
Which was shocking, actually, that
absolutely.
Kelly Ripa chose a black guy.
I'm still shocked.
I still can't fathom it.
So Michael.
No jealousy of him, though?
No, you know why? Because that's
you.
not what I wanted to do.
Here's what my perception of your broadcast career was, that you wanted to be more than sports.
You're absolutely right.
That you're an articulate guy.
You hit it on the head.
A handsome guy. You got everything going for you. That you wanted to be, like you could have taken the contract
You wanted to be
at Fox.
A broadcaster, not a sportscaster.
Yeah,
exactly.
You could have taken your contract
Robert.
at Fox and just done sports.
Yep.
Which you're adept at doing. You know the game.
It's easy. I mean, it's easy, but it's not challenging to me. And I've never been someone not to take challenges.
So you left Fox where you were making, I don't know, what, like $13 million or something crazy?
I wasn't making anything. I don't remember what I was making. I was working one day a week.
But then you took the job with NBC, right?
Yep. I was probably making a couple $100,000 a year.
I see.
And then when I retired, I had a choice.
Right.
Stay at Fox.
Go ahead.
Do Fox News, Fox Business, and Fox NFL Sunday, which was on the West Coast.
Right.
Or go to NBC and do something that no one has ever done, which is jump right out of a sport and go right into broadcast network television on the Today Show, which is something I've always wanted to do.
Did you feel you were in over your head when you went on the Today Show? Because, I mean, it's not like sports you've been practicing since you were a kid.
A little bit. But also, and the difference with Fox News is that I basically was on Fox News and I was just myself.
Right.
It was like have an opinion, be informed, and just talk. Right. You know, you got to probably lean one way or the other, but whatever. Right. Just talk. Be yourself. Have an opinion. NBC was more structured. It's more of a, we're fitting into this, 3-minute block. You have to say this, this, and this, get it said, and be done.
I got to tell you.
And it didn't fit me.
I did the Today Show recently. I was interviewed by Matt Lauer when I signed up to do America's Got Talent.
Yep.
And I was shocked when I was sitting there, like, what a machine it is.
It is a machine.
It's like an well-oiled machine. It was like broadcasting, I don't know.
They hardly have time to listen to you for hitting those marks.
I was actually very impressed. The way, like, Matt walked through it and went to the state. I mean, but it is, you can't just jump into that.
And when you go see it, you get enamored with it because it's like, wow, this is so clean.
It's cool.
Right? It's like, just they are on the money. Someone's saying in their ear, you have 3 seconds, get out, and they get out. Perfect. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wasn't qualified to do it, and I didn't learn it the right way.
Did you get canned for because of your controversy with your wife?
No,
and
not at all. I mean, we were leaving. We were getting out of the contract anyways because we knew it wasn't right. Right, it didn't fit my style, so we had already backed down.
Were you criticized on the Today Show as not being prepared or not being the guy?
No, I mean people wanted to say that, but it's nonsense. It's revisionist history. I was always prepared. Whenever I had an interview to do, and I did some great interviews while I was there, they were fantastic, and I think everyone would tell you that.
I was thinking about you. Maybe a year is your sort of weird thing. Like, if you had waited a year and just stayed with the Giants, you would have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. But maybe not.
If you wait, now,
maybe not.
now
You could
listen to
argue
this.
that they wouldn't have been there. If
I
was still
understand
there.
the whole controversy. You got married to a new woman. It was perceived that when you bailed out on your wife when she was pregnant and everything.
That's what the New York Post says, at least.
Right. If you had waited a year,
yeah.
All right, your wife gets pregnant. You're in love with another woman. Wait a year. It would have been a bitch, but you wait a year, let her kind of get established with the kid. You had a divorce, nobody would have held you.
You know, it's not even. It's hardly worth talking about because the perception is there, and it's hard to change it. I was in a bad marriage, Howard. It is what it is.
Right.
And for a long time, I was out of my house in 2007, 2 years before I actually got separated again.
Right.
I was asked to leave.
Right.
I left. Things were. We were just going to get a divorce.
Right.
Yes, she was
Done.
pregnant. It sucked.
Right.
Because she was pregnant. It sucked.
Right.
4 months later, one of the scourges of the earth ends up representing my wife and decides
the lawyer.
4 months later, decides to blast it all over the New York Post. And here's when I stopped believing in coincidences. Because that first story was on my birthday. And I believe that they thought it would just go away.
Right.
No, yeah, we're going to embarrass him. We're going to force him to settle and come to our terms, which were ridiculous, by the way.
Right.
And I'm not that guy.
Had you settled with your wife, given her whatever the hell she wanted?
We tried. We tried.
So you think it was about humiliating you and ending your career?
I do. I do. I honestly do.
Well, how's that a good idea for her?
I just cut your nose off to spite your face. I have no idea, Robin.
Because it's hard to recover from that. I mean,
it is.
The perception
Howard,
of Tiki Barber
I didn't do anything for 2 years.
Wow.
I literally didn't. I sat on my ass and.
Were you depressed?
Absolutely. I literally would wake up, have coffee, maybe eat some breakfast, and watch television for 18 hours a day. Would hardly leave my apartment.
Yeah, that's what Robin does. What were you watching, by the way?
I love that. So I watched every episode of Cheers.
Right.
Every episode of Roseanne.
Right.
Every episode of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
It sounds like heaven to me.
It was for a while.
I love doing that.
I caught up on Dexter. I wasn't into Dexter.
Dexter's great.
Now I'm hooked. I'm all
Dexter,
over.
Homeland, you name it. It's it.
You know, and so
but Tiki, it's almost like, it's sort of sad, right? Do you look back and say, man, I built up all this career I went through, all this good work I did, and now I'm the guy.
And the pain and the suffering.
And now I'm the
Absolutely.
guy. Like, I didn't know. I'm not a big football guy. You can look at me. I'm a mess. you understand. But yeah, right. I think I'm a big Sasquatch. But Tiki,
you look good though, Howard.
Thanks. I'm trying to hold it together. But seriously, it's like every. So here's this. The only thing I knew about Tiki Barber was he was married, he had 4 kids, and he left his wife for the intern that he met at NBC.
That's the simple explanation. And people want to see the world in black and white. It's
but there's a ton of guys.
It's so easy if you don't have to explain anything.
But what happened to you? Because a lot of guys. I mean, Bill Clinton got a blowjob in office, and the guy maintained his presidency.
Why? You want to be perfectly honest?
What happened to you?
Because I'm an African American athlete who people obviously want to. I don't even want to say that. I'm an African American athlete, and my now wife, who I am deeply in love with, is
and by the way, you're
11 years younger than me and blonde.
Right. Oh.
And
by the way, your wife is extraordinarily hot. Oh my God, I never saw her before. Holy shit.
Yeah, she's cute.
Oh my God.
And she's a whipper.
What's that?
She's
anal.
Take it what it is.
Oh my God, Howard!
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a football term.
Oh, you got to come over. You got to come over for dinner one day. Maybe she'll tell you.
She was an intern when you were on the Today Show. That should be illegal.
We met when she was an intern. Actually, when I was separated in 2007, we met.
Oh my God!
But we were just friends for a long time. When I got kicked out in 2009.
You got kids with her?
No, not yet.
You going to have kids with her?
Yeah, probably.
Don't
we think we'd have good kids?
You're going to try it again?
Yeah, but Tiki. Come on, man.
Oh, my God.
You got enough to worry about.
What a brave man you are.
The more the merrier.
Oh, my God.
But I also got to keep a wife happy.
I know. So, you make a good point. If you left your wife for a black woman,
exactly,
the black community, I think, would have stood up for you.
Of course. You
went with a white woman. And it still exists in our society where all of a sudden you're probably abandoned by the black community.
We are not post-racial. I hate to say it, we're not.
I don't think we are.
This country is there but not there. There's pockets where people sit in a vocal minority and they say what they feel, and it's bigoted, it's racist, It's demeaning, derogatory to a lot of society.
How, was her family nice to you, or were they upset that you were a black guy?
Unbelievably nice to me. Unbelievably.
They've been good to you.
They've been fantastic. Doreen and Ernie are awesome.
Good people.
Great people. And, accepted the situation we were in.
And your first
right
wife
away.
was black?
No, she was Asian.
She was Asian?
She was Asian, yes. Half Korean, half Vietnamese.
Right. And so,
and a good girl.
Well, you're half Asian,
I won't
aren't you?
say anything derogatory about her because it's not in my best interest.
Right.
Right.
But you're half Asian.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not?
I'm black, and I think my grandmother's father may have been a slave owner, or my grandmother's grandfather may have been a slave owner. So
I'm Korean, so I mean, what are you going to do? Right.
You're Korean?
Yeah.
But my point is, I have 4 kids with this woman.
How's that going?
Why would I say anything derogatory about her? Because at some point in the society we live in, it's going to come back.
Did you worry that you would turn into your own father in the sense that would you be estranged from your 4 children?
That got thrown at me.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I love my kids, and I'm going to always be in their lives. And at the end of the day, as long as they know that I love them, despite what they're probably going to hear as they get older,
right?
That's all that matters. It's really hard to mess up kids, Howard. It really is. The only thing you got to do is not, as long as you don't beat them and abuse them,
right?
And you show them that you love them, they should turn out okay.
How weird is it when you have to go pick up the kids and see your ex-wife?
It's not. As soon as the lawyers, this aforementioned, who I won't say her name, lawyer, got out of her life,
right,
our relationship got a lot better.
Yeah.
A whole lot better.
Did you have to pay through the nose? I mean, because you were getting so much shit thrown at you.
There's a lot. I mean, there was just motion after retarded emergency sole custody type thing. Like, am I beating my kids? Am I abusing my kids? Why do you need...
You got vilified, man. I mean, you really did.
And I couldn't say anything. And I wouldn't ever say anything. And I should have, but I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to fight.
Why did NBC put a hot intern like that in front of you? I mean, in a way, aren't they to blame for all of this?
No, not at all.
Really. I mean,
you know what? I thank NBC, to be perfectly honest with you, because they introduced me to someone who I'm deeply in love with.
But after the whole controversy with you leaving your wife and blah, 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 was your broadcast career dead? I mean, you could not get arrested.
Well, it was interesting because I got let go pretty quickly. And
right after
that. And Kathy Lee and Hoda talked about it on air, which is why they got a lot of negative feedback on me, which forced their hand.
Oh, really?
Kathy Lee and Hoda came out against you?
They just talked about the front page of the New York Post and didn't say very kind things.
Weren't they colleagues of yours?
Yeah.
Did you see them in the halls all the time?
So. Yeah, of course.
And so they shit all over you because you're the bad guy who got a divorce. Because no other guy ever got a divorce.
Because they read the New York Post and they believed everything that's in the New York Post.
Couldn't they have come to you and asked you?
Of course.
Because when you know somebody, don't you think that's a courtesy?
Couldn't they have said to you...
All of a sudden, I just couldn't log into my account any longer.
Are you kidding?
What do you mean? You couldn't log into your NBC account?
Yeah.
You mean you were frozen out, even though you were an employee?
Absolutely.
You are kidding me.
I'm not.
That's cold.
You mean you showed up to work and you're like, hey...
I didn't even show up to work because I was laying low.
You're at home.
I
Yeah.
was laying low. And then all of a sudden, the world just closes and collapses around me.
And did you try to call Kathy Lee and Hoda and say, I mean...
Why? Why? I mean, it's all right. What's done is done.
Why do you think they did that to you? Do you think because women just saw you as a guy who...
I have no idea.
What would you have said to them?
You know
why? You know why? Because I have seen Hoda since. I'm perfectly kind to them. I'm perfectly kind to anyone.
Right.
You can literally shit on me, and I will still be kind to you.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's just in my nature.
Right.
I'm just forgiving like that. I don't hold grudges. Why should I? I'm going to go forward with my life. While all these, this worlds are crashing down upon me, and everybody's saying anything negative they can. Oh yeah, I met Tiki once, and he had a broken leg, and I wanted an autograph, and he wouldn't sign it. Yeah, he's an asshole, right? So people can say all those things that they want, but I've never been that way to anyone. And while all this stuff is crashing down around me, I still knew that I had people who were very, very close and to me and friends of mine who were going to support me and pull me back up. And that's ultimately what happened. It took me a long time to realize it, Howard. I mean, literally, I was depressed.
I mean, but Kathy Lee certainly went through a public thing with Frank. You'd think that she would be more understanding than anyone that, shit goes down in a marriage.
Well, she couldn't say anything to Frank. She took it out on Tiki.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Who was your good friend during all of this?
There was a couple. Obviously, my brother, my manager, Mark Lepselter, who,
he stuck with
many years has jumped in front of trains for me.
Right.
My good friend Jeff, who was a UVA grad with me, who's always supporting me and making sure I was doing the right things by my kids, and then friends that just kind of started to pop up, right? You find out who your real friends are. Because the ones who are there because you're popular and, oh, I want to be with Tiki because he's the greatest running back in Giants. Yeah. But as soon as something bad goes, oh, fuck him. I don't want to talk to him.
What about on the Today Show? Did Matt and Al stick by you? And
not really.
No?
Not really.
Everyone kind of
They kind of distanced themselves. And, now we can be friendly and say hello. But you know what? They weren't there. I didn't get any calls for them. The people I got calls from, interestingly, were people from the Robin Hood Foundation, who you know, the Robin Hood guys. They called me right away.
It is kind of sad in the sense that wouldn't you love to have at least gone on the Today Show and say, hey, can I explain here from my side of the story?
I would have loved to.
So I'm not completely... I'm a guy who was in love with a woman. We fell out of love.
People change, Howard. it happens. Marriage.
There are a lot of divorces in this country. It's not an unheard of thing.
You grow in different directions, right? I was 22 when I got married, and married to my college sweetheart, and my life changed.
Being a star football player, when did you start to become really noticed as a football player? In high school?
Yeah, maybe not. I was a track star in high school. I was valedictorian. I was a smart kid. I was the athletic kid, but I was just kind of... I was different because there weren't a lot of black.
As the valedictorian of your school, you could have gone into business or something. Why football?
Because I was good at it, Howard.
Yeah, why not?
I wanted to be an astronaut, so I went to UVA to be a nuclear engineer. I couldn't hang with the course load because I had to take all my classes in the morning because I had to practice at night. But I was up all night, studying and stuff. So I got out of the engineering school and went to the business school.
Right.
Fell in love with computers. Got my Bachelor of Science in Management Information Systems, which is database design and programming, and got this great business acumen.
What a life!
But then I became a very good athlete.
Did you get tons of pussy in college before you met your wife?
No,
I didn't. Really?
Just probably average. I was shy, Howard.
Yeah,
I told you this.
But you're a star football player. You got a physique like a god.
I was shy. I was unbelievably shy.
When did you lose your virginity? How old were you?
Oh, I lost my virginity in high school. I was 16 or 17.
Yeah. I mean, even I lost my virginity at 16. Look at me. I look like a witch.
I wasn't ever one of those guys. I just wasn't.
I just figured you were having a party.
Oh, no, I wish.
So maybe that's why you got married so young. Were you insecure? Seriously.
Maybe. You never know.
You meet this Asian chick.
Maybe.
What the fuck? She's into you.
Yeah, of course.
She was hot, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But you really maybe didn't know each other that well.
You never do, right?
Well, you're young. You haven't even
Some people
formed.
grow together. Others grow apart. It just happens. I'm not going to make excuses for it. It's not worth it.
So you're struggling in terms of a comeback? I mean, I know you have this new business, and the new business is...
No, interestingly, things are very good right now, Howard.
You want a broadcast job, though, don't you?
Well, I'll tell you. So things are very good.
Go ahead.
A year and a half ago, I was doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
A friend of mine from UVA, really close friend, said, I want you to go talk to my brother because he's an entrepreneur, and he'll help you think of something to do.
Right.
So Mark Gerson.
You still got money?
Yeah. I gave a lot of it to Jenny. I gave upwards of 75% to Jenny, but
75%.
Yeah.
So you have a hot plate and...
Do you live in someone's basement?
No. I live in Jersey City, right on the water.
You got a nice house?
I did okay. I had a good career.
That wife of yours is so smoking hot. How you feeling about her? You still sex is still good?
It's unbelievable.
You don't you're not craving other women?
Not at all.
Not at all.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'll stop there before she gets mad at me.
Would she ever do lesbianism in front of you? That's a yes. Wow. Like, no kidding.
You're like one of these mentalists that knows people's tells, huh?
Yeah.
But anyways, you digress, not me.
Go ahead.
So I met with this guy, Mark Gerson. He had a company, GLG.
What is GLG?
It's a group of experts that are, I guess, licensed out to companies that are looking for expertise on things. So we just came up with an idea of Thuzio.com, which is a company.
Thuzio, Thuzio.
Thuzio. It's a derivative of enthusiast because we realize that everybody's an enthusiast of something. So what Thuzio is a marketplace and a economic platform that allows athletes currently, eventually we'll get outside of athletics, to book local paid appearances doing lunches or dinners or...
In other words, if I want to have dinner with
whatever.
Tiki Barber...
Exactly. You go to Thuzio.com, you pay $600.
$600 to have you come to my house?
Yeah.
How much if you bring your wife?
What?
Wait a minute. You're going to come to his house?
You'll come to my house for $600? I'll give you $1,200
Actually, if she comes, it's got to be $2,000. But you get the idea.
Yes.
But it takes something.
So if I want to hire Tiki Barber,
exactly,
it's $600.
Exactly.
No kidding. What is it, Gary?
It takes something that's very... Go ahead, Gary.
John Hunt and I looked at this list yesterday.
This is good.
This is awesome. So we do here at the show, we do a fantasy football draft. We go to the conference room on the 19th floor. So next year, we're going to get New York Jets quarterback Ken O'Brien for $750. John and I are going to just chip in and get him.
For $750, you can get
He'll
the
come
Jets.
Come to my draft and hang out.
Tiki, do you...
So we know that this exists, Howard.
Yes.
We know it exists. This we're not creating anything new.
Is that why you played flag football the other day?
Exactly.
Some guy hired you for $600.
So we had a promotion on Urban Daddy.
Yeah.
And a woman bought it. Maria bought it for her husband and her son because they play flag football every weekend.
But your wife really did take 75%. This sounds like a nightmare.
No, it's not a nightmare. It's
not?
actually an unbelievable way for retired players who can no longer monetize their brand. Right. They can't monetize it anymore. And the ability to transact with customers who want to engage with them.
Who gets the most money? What athlete?
So we built it for retired athletes.
Right.
But what we found is that there are a lot of current athletes who have unused inventory of time.
Right.
Right. So
in other words, they're sitting around watching 18 hours of TV
exactly.
a day. Right.
They could go out and play flag football.
Yeah, exactly. They can monetize their time.
Right.
When
this
they're
is
doing
remarkable.
nothing. And so we have R.A. Dickey, who is the National League.
Just won a Cy Young.
Exactly.
R.A. Dickey
is on our
How
site.
much to get him to come over?
$10,000. But he does it local. He does it local.
Howard, you can get Keith Hernandez for $6,250.
How much?
$6,250.
Let me ask you something.
Leonard Marshall. You get Leonard Marshall.
How much for Leonard?
Leonard was more than I thought he would be.
How
He's
much?
more than Ken You I think Leonard was like $1,800.
So
but you understand
What year you demean Leonard Marshall?
Tiki, why are you $600 and Leonard? What's going on with you?
Because I want to be booked.
Let me ask you this. I don't mean any disrespect by this. Will you babysit for $600? Because I need someone.
But Howard, for $600.
Imagine I got Tiki Barber watching
your kids, I might.
Howard, understand, when you go to the site, so fantasy football is a price, right?
Right.
Playing flag football is a price. Going to a celebration is a bigger price. And I think the highest price is singing karaoke for some people.
How much to get you to sing karaoke?
Well, it depends. What are you singing? I can sing a little bit.
$800 for have you show up at my Christmas party.
So what we're trying to figure out is supply and demand, right? And you need data to do that. You need bookings. You need
Are people getting
engaging.
booked?
Absolutely, they are.
How many bookings did you do this month?
Probably 8.
8?
Yeah.
And you played fantasy football.
Played flag football. I went to a dinner. I've actually played 3 fantasy flag football games. Went to a dinner. I had an event with Esquire. So Esquire, who I've known forever, Scott Lehman over at Esquire, I've known him since they had the first Esquire apartment, but he booked me through Thusio because it's so much easier to go through that route than going through the security route.
Yeah, because who would know how to do this otherwise? And by the way, you know how if you call a prostitute to your room, you got to have a guy stand outside. Like when you go to these things, don't you have to be careful? Don't you need a bodyguard of some sort?
You know what? No. Because these people are sort of vetted. Our customers are vetted in a way because they have to give a credit card, so we know who they are. Right, we authorize their credit card, right? So we know that the funds are there, and we kind of know a little bit about them. And then once the booking gets happened, once I accept, the credit card gets authorized.
Well, to book Tiki Barber and many other athletes for an event, you go to THU.
This is very exciting.
It's exciting.
I think Robin's going to have a bedroom full of football players.
We're going outside of sports soon too, so we'll get to Broadway actors and
What about Robin? How much for Robin too?
Robin, let's have a conversation.
That'll cost you a lot.
Robin, I want to party with you. Look at this, Leonard Marshall's $1,800 for lunch a dinner.
You know what, Robin? I bet you'd be high demand. To be honest with you.
Oh, we could turn her out for a pretty penny.
I mean, I'd put Howard. I put Howard on there, but I know you wouldn't want to do it. So.
Oh my God! I'd rather hang myself. When people invite you to a party, I mean, friends of yours, do you get annoyed that they're not paying? I mean,
no, not at all. Not at all. Actually,
or did you just charge them?
You know what? To me, it's a way to meet people because I grew up in New York. I grew up in New York City as a professional, so I understood the value of networking and who you know. Right. And so by doing some of these engagements, I'm meeting some incredibly interesting and influential folks who are willing to pay for my time. And so that it's almost a benefit to me, even though it's benefiting them. So that's how I look. That's how I've always looked at the world. right? It's a give and take no matter what you're doing, professionally, personally, whatever it may be. And I feel that this business is a great way for other athletes.
The athletes must love you for doing this. I mean, they're looking for something to do.
Of course, they're looking for something to do. And in fact, Tim Hardaway down in Miami, he read an article in Athletes Quarterly, which is a magazine only distributed to athletes, and he called us saying, I've been looking for something like this for a long time. I have a lot to offer still, but I don't have a mechanism to do it. And so that's what we've built, is a way for them to engage in their communities doing all kinds of different things.
Well, to book Tiki and many other athletes, go to Thuzio, Thuzio. Why not come up with a name that's easier than Thuzio?
It'll stick with you. You'll say it like 5 times, and
really?
it'll never leave your mind.
Thuzio, Thuzio.com.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I am back in media, by the way.
What are you doing?
January 2nd, I started CBS Sports Radio. A morning show, competing with you.
Well, yeah, go for it. I mean, yeah, good luck. I mean, believe me, I wish you the best.
I'll be able to listen
now
to you now because I'll be awake.
You're on our turf.
I know.
Okay?
I had to get up at 5:15 this morning. I was like, oh my Lord, January 2nd is going to be.
And please say hello to that wife of yours for me. I mean, she's something.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you,
you can't have her, Howard.
Wow. I don't know if you're ever going to. You should make appearances with her. Forget about you. Who wants to look at you? Look at her.
Agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
and,
she's a lovely girl. And
now, the show you're going to at CBS Radio, they don't have interns there, do they?
No.
Good,
no.
because it's enough with those interns.
You consider that a weakness of yours?
She wasn't an intern.
That woman is she's not just an average intern.
That is Tiki's kryptonite.
You're crazy.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, listen. All right. You've been through a lot.
I have, but life keeps going, man.
All right. You got a good attitude. I understand.
You got to.
You got to. You got to keep
as
going.
I recall,
Otherwise, you
I
jump
have
off
one
the building.
Did you ever want to kill yourself?
Question.
Did you ever consider suicide?
I like myself too much.
Yeah.
Seems like a positive guy. It doesn't seem like the guy.
But when you're hiding,
what's your question, Rob?
When you're hiding in your house though for 2 years, that ain't fun.
No, I was out. I mean, I'd go to my kids' games and I'd see folks, but I just wasn't engaged in anything. I didn't want to be engaged. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to be left alone. I wanted it all to go away. I wanted my divorce to be done. It took 2.5 years. When it was finally done, I found happiness again. I got remarried.
Yeah.
And your new wife, she was okay, even though you were down on your luck for 2 years. She stuck with you.
She wasn't. It was hard on her. She was 25 years old. She's dragged through the mud. She was sued. She was put on the front page of the.
Why was she sued?
Exactly.
What did she get sued over?
Exactly, Howard. Exactly.
When you have a wife that hot, do you still masturbate?
Oh my God.
Honestly, I mean,
only with her.
Only with her.
Yeah.
You do. You admit to masturbating with your wife.
Absolutely.
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 Good for
She
you.
does it all, man.
No shit.
Get it out of your
What a
mind, Howard.
scene
I don't
going
want
on
you
over there.
fucking
Well,
thinking
he's
about me.
picturing it.
I
What is
know he
going on
is.
here?
I see it in his face.
Wow. And she is a whipper. I see what you mean.
Oh my goodness.
That was a spontaneous word, but you're gonna make some hay with it. I can tell.
Hey, look at this. Daryl Dawkins will come to your bat mitzvah for $1,000.
A bat mitzvah.
That's right.
Daryl Dawkins at a bat mitzvah would be very interesting.
Daryl Dawkins is awesome.
All right.
Our first event.
It's called
Wait a minute. I do have one other
go ahead,
question.
Robin.
It's a career question. Did you ever attempt a comeback?
You know,
because a lot of times athletes retire.
Yeah, you know
and
what,
then...
Robin? We glossed over it a little bit, but
he did attempt to come back.
So here's what happened. I was covering the Super Bowl for Yahoo, and I saw Mike Tomlin. I did a story with Mike Tomlin, who was a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he came up to me and said, "Dude, you should come back, man. You can do it again. You're in great shape. I know that Barber blood because my brother was still playing at a high level. Make a comeback." And then a lockout happened, but that actually got me off my ass. I started working out again.
Yeah.
I was out in the gym. I got really strong and big, and I felt really good about myself. And we started doing some interviews, and people just weren't talking about all the negativity, and it brought me back.
Right.
It really did. So while I didn't come back into the NFL, and it's a good thing I didn't, because I can't even play flag football anymore.
Right.
You know, I would have died going back to back in the NFL. But it got me back up.
Did you have to go to some kind of psychiatrist?
I didn't.
You didn't? You didn't go to talk to anyone after you?
I have some friends. Keith Abloh, Dr. Keith Abloh, who's on Fox.
Oh, had that guy?
You talked to Keith?
He's a friend.
He's wacky.
He is wacky.
Oh, you talked to Keith. He helped you.
Yeah, he's a friend, and he's known Tracy and I for a long time. So he's probably as far as I went.
You're not angry that I mean, you had a huge broadcast career
Why be
going.
angry? Because
Good for you.
Negativity it festers in you and it makes you evil, right? And it's not worth it to me.
Right.
Life is too short to be angry.
I'm angry. Look at me.
No, you're not.
Oh.
You're happy.
And everything's going fine for him. Just imagine a setback.
I can tell.
Go, man. I'm angry.
You're the king of all media. What the hell are you talking about?
I gave myself that name.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know.
Great.
It's stuck, though.
Exactly. I even know it.
All right. Listen, Tiki.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck
Howard.
with Thuzio.com. Thank you for coming in. And we're going to take a break. Then I'm going to talk to Nick Cannon, who I work with on America's Got Talent. Find out what's going on with him and Mariah.
Uh-oh.
He's got his hands full, huh? For those twins.
She's great. She's on the Fresh Air Fund board with me.
Oh, yeah.
She's a great girl.
Yeah. He's having a blast.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Ask him about sex and everything else.
Oh, I will.
Oh, definitely.
Trust me.
He won't get away with anything.
We're going to find out if he gets anal.
Oh, my God.
You into that at all?
Oh, no comment.
I think you're into it.
He's just taking off his headphones. He's done.
He's out of here. All right, we'll be back right after these words.
Tiki,
Guess I
you held strong, man.
Hundreds of shows going on here at one time.
It's ridiculous,
It's fantastic.
right?
No, it was cool. Howard's a good guy.
You know, you've obviously done broadcasting. What do you appreciate about his style and how he performs on a daily basis?
Honesty and directness, because there's thoughts in people's minds that I think he addresses that most, let's call journalists, would gloss over or touch lightly. He just dives to the point and lets you have your say. He's not opining. He's just giving you an opportunity to talk, and I appreciate that, actually.
I was going to say, do you feel better about some of the misconceptions that have been, that people tried to portray in a certain light?
Well, as time goes by, you grow and you just forget and forgive some of the things that people for entertainment value try to do to you. But yeah, it's good to talk about it. It's good for people to somewhat understand it. At the end of the day, they're still going to have their opinions, and I'm going to have mine. It is what it is, but it gives me a chance to go forward with my life.
Yeah, I feel as if today you cleared up, because I'm a diehard Giants fan, I got to admit. I had some of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Some of those, and I didn't want to like you today, but I do. I really do. Like, I can tell, it seems like he gave you the forum to be open and honest and genuine.
Of course, Howard always gives you that forum because he's going to let you be yourself and tell your story, not, he's going to lump some nonsense on top of it, but that's great.
Right.
It makes it entertaining and captures you, but there's no malice or forethought in my blood ever. There never has been. I love Eli. I love the Giants, and the unfortunate thing is that this perception has been crafted that I dislike them or I hate them or I wish to see them do poorly, which is illogical in a lot of ways because for 10 years they were my family.
Right, you bled blue, man.
I still bled blue.
I was there.
They were my professional lifeline. I made a lot of money playing for the New York Giants. I made a lot of people happy, and it's not something that's just forgotten. And so for people to try to separate that part of me from me, it angers you, and it's disheartening in some ways. So to be able to clear it up in some respects is kind of cool.
Yes, Sharon Osborne is here. My co-judge on America's Got Talent. She's no longer my co-judge because
your former co-judge, yeah.
Because she gets into fights with everybody. Constantly.
Some things never change. Some things never change.
She really does. She's ornery. Look at that beautiful woman. Look at her. Sexy Sharon. Skinny Sharon. Would you lose more weight?
I did.
You still on that
Atkins diet? Yeah, and it works. And I'm about 28, 29 pounds down.
The reason you're not my co-judge anymore is because you fight with everybody. It's fucking crazy.
I do not
I'm so
fight.
aggravated with you. We would have had a great time this year. I'd be more relaxed. You fucked up. You admit it.
I didn't.
You could have...
How could I? Why say I fucked up? Do you know what? Having principles does not mean you fuck up.
But why do you always have... I mean, you always fight with everyone. I mean, it's a constant... Even with Simon Cowell, who you like, you badmouth him. I mean, you got back in his good graces. But remember, you were talking about how he has a little cock and this and that, and you went public...
because he badmouthed me in his book. So I went, right, you want to play, I'll play, but I don't mean it.
And even with NBC... You could have patched things up with them, right?
Could have patched things up, and I sent a letter to Bob Green Splat and said, why can't we meet? I'm not stood up like a maniac here. Let me sit down.
And relax.
Yeah,
you look good.
Thank you, my darling.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about you.
So I said, could we meet and try and sort this out? So I gave the olive branch out.
Right.
And he sent an email back to my agent saying, no.
Because he's hurt by what you said. Because you badmouthed the network about Jack. Jack, your son, was on a TV show. He was diagnosed with MS. You felt they mistreated him.
Yes.
And so when you said to him, hey, you threw down the olive branch, which, see, you're used to getting your way. You are used to always patching things up. You do get away with that.
Yeah, I think I've earned the right at being 60 years of age, paying my dues in this industry. I owe nothing to anybody.
Right.
And so I think I deserve some...
You were blowing off steam.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think that I have to be fake at this time of my life.
Not fake, but do you ever bite your tongue and go, okay, let me work this out privately with Bob Greenblatt or with...
I don't have that in me, but I know I should, and that is a big failure with me. I don't. I blow off steam, and then the next day, I did it with Piers.
Right.
I was literally strangling him in Mr. Chow's. And
why?
Because I had a fight with him.
What was the fight?
I can't even remember. I think I was drunk. And,
But Piers forgave you. See, everyone forgives you.
I called him and said, I'm totally wrong. I apologize. And he goes, you're such a pain in the ass. You're a bitch. But I'll see you tomorrow. And I said, love you. He said, love you. And that was it.
Why did you tell Piers we didn't have chemistry on America's Got Talent? I don't believe that at all. I think you had a lot of...
Did I say that?
Yes, I was so
Were you drunk again?
By that.
No, I wasn't.
You say things that I don't even understand. In fact, I think this season...
We had chemistry.
Tremendous chemistry. And, you know, Piers...
The three of us had great chemistry.
Yes, yes.
Well, where else were you looking for chemistry with?
Who are you saying didn't have chemistry?
What the fuck do I know?
I mean, sometimes I feel you say things, and you do it for shock value. And then you're sorry you say them. I do believe this of you. In fact, I tell a story when because it was my first season as America's Got Talent. You are so opinionated. I turned to you at one point. We were in Vegas. I said, Sharon, who is going to win this whole thing? You turned to me without missing a beat. You go, Tim Hockenberry, the singer, is going to win this whole thing. And I went, oh, my God, Sharon knows everything. I mean, she already knows who's going to win America's Got Talent. And the whole time I'm obsessed with this guy's going to win because Sharon said it. Of course, the guy didn't even win. I turned to you back in your dressing room and I said, you know, you said Tim Hockenberry. You go, oh, I never said that. I don't say. I mean,
so you don't even remember what you said.
You don't even remember what you said.
I'm fucking nuts. What the fuck do I know?
I always thought Ozzy was nuts. It's you who's nuts.
Of course.
You go on Piers and you go on Piers and say we don't have chemistry. I thought we were so in sync with each other, the three of us.
Were you just trying to make Piers feel better?
That's what I think was going on. Because Piers is doing horribly at CNN. Maybe you were trying to make him feel better.
Is he doing horribly?
Well, I mean, listen, I love Piers. I really like the guy.
Yeah, you can't. No, he's a good person. He's a good, like you.
Yeah.
A good person.
Right. Misunderstood.
We all are.
We're
all fucked up, Howard.
Talk to me what's going on. First of all, are you wearing the gift I gave you because you're here, or are you wearing it because you wear it every day?
I don't wear it every day.
Yes.
Because I change my jewelry every day.
Right.
But I've worn it since I've been in New York because you are my friend.
Yes.
And you gave me the best gift any friend has ever given me.
Because I feel we have chemistry.
We do have chemistry.
And you go
should
on
take
TV.
it back, Howard.
I really should take back my gift.
No, I'm not giving it you. Fuck you. I'm not giving it you back.
I mean, I sent it to you out of friendship because I said, boy, you know what? I didn't know how
That
things
was
would turn out
great,
with
yeah.
Sharon, and I loved being there with you. And I sent you that gift because of our chemistry. I could play you the clip. You want me to play it? Do we have the clip of Sharon on Piers?
I'll have it in 2 seconds.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me ask you. Let me
Go
change
on.
the topic. We'll
Go
forget
on.
that in 2 seconds. Let me know what's going on with your tits.
Go on.
Because I'm trying to figure it out. Now, I know you at one point in your life. I knew you when you were very heavy.
Yeah.
You went and got that band around your stomach.
Yeah.
And you announced at some point you were removing the band because you felt it was unhealthy.
Yeah.
You
I
said
did.
they have to do that.
Yeah.
You did that. Your weight went up a little. Not a lot. It went up a little. And then you went on the Atkins diet. I guess they pay you to be a spokesperson, yes?
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah.
And the Atkins diet is working for you.
For me, my husband, my son, we're all like getting skinnier every day.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually controlling your weight without this
Yeah.
band. And you look very glamorous.
Thank you.
Your body looks good.
Thank you.
How much weight have you lost since America's Got Talent, since I last saw you?
It's around, it fluctuates, but it's around 28, 29 pounds, depending on what I've eaten the night before.
Are you exercising?
Yes, I am.
What do? You run around the block?
No, I like to do weight training.
Weight train, but no aerobic stuff?
Yeah, I do. I do cardio.
What do you do?
I do the
What, that elliptical?
elliptical, yeah.
You're on that?
You got it, Robin.
What do you wear when you do that?
What do I wear?
Yeah, right. Like, do you have an outfit?
Yes, it has to be fabulous.
Right. And so, what is going on, though, with your titties? I understand the stomach thing.
Yeah.
You had breast implants at one point.
Yes.
You
and-
decided to get rid of them.
Well, one of them leaked, and it went into my stomach wall.
Silicone?
No, what's that?
Saline.
No, silicone. The bad
Silicone
stuff.
leaked into your stomach?
Into the stomach wall. But listen,
Oy vey.
before that, Ozzy and I had this test called a genome test. Do you
Right.
know what that is?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes, but I really don't. Go
Okay.
ahead.
It's like a DNA thing.
It's
I knew that,
more
Robin. I'm trying
sophisticated.
to. I'm trying
Thank
to.
you,
I'm trying to
Robin.
dumb it up for the audience.
Thank
I
you.
see.
Right.
It's like 1,000,000 times more sophisticated than DNA.
Why did you have that test?
Okay. They approached me to test Ozzy because the scientist wanted to see how Ozzy had lived so long with his lifestyle.
Right, because he abused himself.
Exactly, and
Right.
he's so healthy. So this test is hugely expensive. And
Millions, isn't it?
It's at that point, Robin, it was, I think, 700,000. No,
Right.
sorry, no, I'm not. It's 250,000.
Right.
So I said, I would love, and Ozzy said, please
Right.
do this test. And they said, well, seeing as we're doing Ozzy, we'll do you too.
Right.
And it literally tells you where your generations, where your family's from.
Right.
And it's unbelievable what they
They can
tell
break
you.
down your history.
Everything,
When the
everything.
expression, it's in the blood, really, literally, your whole history is in your blood.
Yes.
Right.
And then they can tell you what you might get, right?
They tell you all the genes and what you are going to get.
And what were you going to get?
Oh, I've got it all, Howard. I
Really?
mean, my husband walks away.
Free and clear.
He is
He's never going to get anything.
No, not even a cold.
He was genetically blessed in the sense that he doesn't have a lot of illness in his family.
No, he's perfect. Thank
And
God.
you have a proclivity toward cancer?
I had the obviously colon cancer gene, and I had the gene for breast and ovarian cancer.
And so you decided.
Well, because I had to go in and have this leaking
Titty.
implant, yes,
Leaking titty?
yes,
Yes.
removed.
Right.
My surgeon, who is a cancer surgeon, said to me, "Why don't we just?"
Take off your tits.
Because this operation is so long, so intense. Let's just do it.
But let me, if I was to get you naked in a room, which I'm probably pretty close to doing anyway.
Well, I thought we were at one point.
Yeah, when you came into my dressing room one time, I'm pretty sure I could have fucked you.
You could, because I didn't have Nickies on, and I had a very sexy dressing
You did.
gown
I didn't know if you
Yes.
wanted it or not. I couldn't tell.
I would have gone.
Yeah, I think you would have. Why not? Listen.
Go on.
What I'm trying to understand is if I got you in a room naked.
Yeah.
And I was to see your titties. You had your entire breast cut off?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't see any breast? You're flat?
No, they rebuild.
They rebuild.
They restored.
You cut off your breasts
yeah.
because you had this gene, even though you've never had breast cancer. Really? You just have a proclivity for breast cancer.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
And then they rebuild them.
Mm-hmm.
How do they look?
They look very small and very perky. And they look like they belong on somebody else but me.
Because they look good, you're saying.
Do you have nipples?
One.
Where's the other one? Gone. Do they tattoo on one?
Yeah, I'm going to have that done.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So that's what I would see?
Yeah.
You could afford a tattooed nipple. Why are you waiting?
Why you wait? Yeah.
Yeah, why wait?
Why? Because
Why should I see you with one nipple?
because I'm so bloody busy, and now it looks like my tits wink at my husband every morning.
You're used to it.
Did that destroy you psychologically? I mean, a woman's breasts are like, her thing.
Absolutely, when you are a young woman, when you're
Right.
at my age
You
and a
don't care?
grandmother, it's not I don't care, it's I'm past all of that.
But you're not really. I mean, you put a lot of
You
effort.
still like to be glamorous and
you
sexy.
are so about being glamorous.
Of course, I love being glamorous, and I love, looking the part.
Right.
But it doesn't. It's not the be all and end all of who I am. You remember I was bald at one point, going through cancer.
Right.
No fingernails. It's like now it's the tit.
Where'd your fingernails go?
Why did you
With chemo, I lost my fingernails and toenails.
Wow.
Why did you have chemo again? What kind of cancer did you have?
Colon.
Colon cancer. You have been through the mill. This has been a shitty couple of years, actually. With
it's-
Jack getting sick.
Colon cancer was a while ago.
The colon cancer. You're right.
Let me
Robin.
remind you how bad things are. Your bulldog died.
Oh, Jack.
Dear.
Your bulldog died.
It's my son that
Okay.
had the year. His baby.
Jack.
He was brought up with his dog. His dog was 12 years old.
So he gets diagnosed with this horrible MS.
He has an appendix.
Appendix?
First appendix a week before his daughter was born.
What do you think is going on? If Ozzy has all these great genetics.
What happened? They all got your gene?
Yeah,
which is
really?
None of Ozzy.
None of Ozzy.
It's like, what is this?
Can't Ozzy do anything for the kids and give them good genetics?
He has.
He has. So it's been a shitty time. First of all, you're not on the show with me anymore, which is the greatest joy of your life. To be near me and next to me on a seat and giggle with me. You had so much fun with me.
Now, how dirty am I?
You're filthy.
I am.
I said to Sharon that on America's Got Talent, she should have let it all hang out. You worry about your brand. You told me that.
How can I go up on... And
You
one
said
to one,
outrageous
how
things.
the hell can I go up and say what I'm thinking in my head? People can't do that.
Like a guy would walk up to audition and Sharon whisper in my ear, he looks like a child molester. I go, Sharon, you've got to say that. I can't say that.
I can't say that.
and she would say these wild things. And I go, you're the funniest woman here. Why don't you let this fly?
Let it hang.
She goes, I have my brand.
What is the brand?
Who knows?
What
at this
is the
point?
brand?
What is a brand?
Who knows? I'm a fucking nut job.
Yeah,
Who
what is
knows
your
what I
brand?
am?
This brand is doing you. What are you doing with the brand? I mean, really? Nothing.
Do you know? I do not know. I do not know. I love my job on the talk. I love doing it. It's easy. I really do, because we're in a rhythm. We know each other. It's coming up 3 years.
The show has gone up in the
great.
ratings.
Every year it gets stronger and stronger. And you got to remember that we're up against like The View that's been going 16 years.
The View dropped and you went up.
We went up.
Yeah. Do you guys celebrate when something like that happens?
It's just a good feeling, a good team feeling that we're on the right road. It takes years to get to the point of the View, and we're 3 years in, and we're happy.
So ultimately, it was a good decision to fire those two ladies.
Yeah.
And Leah Remini is still tweeting.
Is she?
Well, yes. In fact, wait.
Bless.
Here, let me. Oh, bless. She's your enemy. Did you ever run into her in L.A.?
She's not an enemy of mine.
Well, she considers you an enemy, I think.
Really? That's sad for her.
Well, listen, I'm basing it on this tweet here. Wait, I wrote it down.
Go on.
In March 2012, Leah Remini tweeted that she was let go from the talk because Sharon Osborne thought me and Holly, the grammar is not mine, Sharon thought me and Holly were ghetto, her words. We were not funny, awkward, and didn't know ourselves. She had us fired. She blamed you.
She's right on one thing. I didn't think they were funny.
Right.
However, I don't have the power to fire anyone at CBS.
Right.
How can I have the power to fire? I'm an employee.
Of course.
I'm not the producer.
Right.
I'm not an executive producer. I'm a hired hand like they are. However, I didn't think they were funny. But that's my opinion.
Did you think they were ghetto?
No, I don't even know what that is.
What that is?
I tell you what that is. I didn't know what that was, and when I said the word, I remember Holly said to me, I can't remember if she said disgusted her or offended her the way I used the term
ghetto.
Because I would say ghetto, and she'd say, you make it sound disgusting.
Dirty.
Or I don't know. I don't know her understand why it offended her.
Sharon, when you were working on the show, was there open friction, like backstage and stuff, between you and those two ladies? Were you just openly hostile to them?
No, it wasn't at all. I'm not openly hostile because I'll say what I feel and then I carry on.
Did you kind of say stuff to them on the air that indicated you weren't pleased with what they were doing?
I could never do that.
You never
I'm
did
not
that.
in a position to do that.
So why do they did the management ever come to you and say, Sharon, what do you think of these two? What can we do to improve the show?
No.
Never.
I'm an employee, and when you're a
so why are they blaming you? Why?
Because they have to blame somebody. When it's like if you get fired, a lot of people can't go, what did I do wrong? Is there something I can do to better myself?
Maybe
what can I learn? I learned from NBC. I learned think before you open your fucking mouth.
But I think I guess because you're vocal about saying I agree with the decision to get rid of those two, they're going to blame you.
They blame me. So, but it's not me. It's like look within yourself. I don't have the power. It's not my show.
Would you, in fact, if anything, I would think it's more Les Moonves' wife, Julie's show, more than yours, because Julie has Les's ear. And I would think also the other girl from the Gilbert girl, Sarah Gilbert. I would think it's her show. She's a producer.
She created the show. It's Sarah's show. But the thing is, ultimately,
why don't they blame Sarah then? Why are they blaming you?
Why don't they blame research? You know that every network does research on everybody they employ.
Right.
So if their research came back that they were loved and everybody adored them, they would still be in those chairs.
But do networks rely too much on research sometimes?
I don't know, but I know that they research the shit out of everyone.
I know if you research me in radio, there's so many people who hate my guts. But it's the people who love me that actually keep this show going.
Well, of course, but there's more people that love you than don't like you. The same with me. People, not everybody loves anybody.
Is that why you held back sometimes on America's Got Talent? Because you want to be loved?
No, I want to be real, and I don't want to humiliate people publicly, but I can't help what I think in my head. If I think somebody looks like a pedophile, that I keep to myself, but I can't go, you look like you play with yourself.
Suppose he is, and you could have
if you identified him?
I do. I have said to a couple of people, Robin, that you look like you're a fiddler.
Is it fair to say that to me 2 seconds before I'm about to talk and make me laugh and then have that thought in my head? Is that fair? Is that
and then when I go, look at the crotch. Look at the crotch. What's going on in the crotch?
Are you sad you are not? Oh, by the way, on Piers you said you didn't understand why they moved the show to New York.
No.
They moved it because of me. I couldn't work in L.A.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
No one explained that?
No. It was.
Wow, they really don't tell her.
No, they don't.
I mean, what is that? That was the reason. I said to them, I can't.
Do you think that they pick up the phone and go, Shaz, you know what, darling? We're doing this, 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 and this. And this is why. I'm an employee. I get a form and I say, this is your flight number. You've got a jet. Howie's got a jet. I get 2 American Airline first class tickets.
You didn't get a jet?
Fuck off.
Are you serious?
Me get a fucking jet. The only jet I get's up my ass.
NBC didn't offer you a jet to jet back?
They had a jet for staff, for executives, and if there was room on there, I could go on it.
Were you provided a jet every time that you went back and forth, or did you fly a commercial?
Most of the time, I had to take the jet with the lovely executives.
I see.
And it was like, dear, it was like, oh. You could imagine.
Was it awful?
How much fun,
the plane's as big as a bloody stamp, and I'm sat there with 3 people that don't like me because I've got a big mouth and I don't suck their dick.
Right.
And so I'm sat there, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
I didn't know that was going on.
Yes.
I thought that you and Howie had this jet, because you guys were always talking about how much fun you were having on a jet, and you're flying, and blah, blah, blah.
No,
and I left out. I felt left out.
Howie should have his own jet. He deserves it, and he
But why, are you not as big a star as Howie?
I was the least paid on the show.
What were you making?
Jesus, do you know, I honestly don't know, but it wasn't huge. It was way under 100 and not as much as Howie. And he got
way
a jet.
under 100
a show.
$100 a show?
God, that's ridiculous.
Fuck you.
I don't know these things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, believe me, I am not complaining.
I thought they loved you. I thought that like...
Yeah, you've been with the show for several years.
Yeah.
6 years, Robin.
Yeah, Robin.
Oh, my... Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
6 fucking years. And I love
get
the
a
show.
jet.
I love the show.
And you're not... I mean, who do you think is going to replace you? Do you ever give that any thought?
No. I know that there's a letter that went out to all the agencies.
Yes,
Did you
I
see
saw
the
it,
letter?
and it was a description of you.
Me, and I'm like, fucking
It should be
hell.
you.
They were describing somebody motherly, this, that,
Yes.
the other.
Yes, I saw it.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, do you know what
They
I did?
want to replace me with me.
I called up our friends at NBC, and I said to them, you know, I got a hold of this agent printout that you're...
Yeah.
I said... The description.
Every agent in the industry sent it to me.
I said the description. I think I know who you're looking for. And they said, who? I said, based on this description, you're looking for Sharon Osborne.
And what did they say? Fuck off.
Yeah, I said, it seems to me that why don't you guys get together and talk about it a little bit? We have a nice thing going. Yeah. But I think it's over. I honestly think it's over. I'm now convinced.
No, let me tell you something. There are a lot of people in this industry that when you don't play nice, they don't forgive.
No, they don't.
They don't forgive.
Well, you learned a valuable lesson, didn't you?
No, it's men with little dicks.
Well,
is that
that's
what
a
it is?
shame,
Because I
'cause
have a
they-
little dick and I don't forgive anybody. So you're right.
They're costing the show, though. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, do you know what it is? They're cutting their nose off to spite their face.
Absolutely.
Me, I'm like, I don't keep anything quiet. You want
Do
to
you
know
ever
something?
get tired of all these battles? Do you ever get tired? Aren't you
it's
worn
not
out?
all these battles. I worked with Simon for 9 years.
Now, Simon forgave you when you went on national television and said he had a small cock.
Yeah,
and
because he said in his book he didn't like me. So what am I meant to do? Say nothing?
Did he say he didn't like you, or did he say
He
that...
was happy when I left the show.
But now he's hired you. Now he's hired you again, hasn't he?
Listen.
Are you going to be on something called The Dog Can Dance?
It's a new show that it was a special done for Christmas
And
in
it's
England.
a Simon Cowell show.
Yeah, and so he asked me to do it. I flew to England and did the
And
show.
it's dogs dancing?
Yeah, it's fabulous.
And you're a judge on that?
Yeah.
And he asked you to do that, so he obviously likes you.
Of course he likes me.
So is it fair?
He doesn't like the way I say things because why is it when people can say things about you, but when you retaliate, they get pissed off?
But hold it a second. People say things about you, and you get vicious. I mean, you
yeah,
get, so you
but
don't
the
forgive
next
either.
day I forget it.
You do?
Of course I do. What the fuck? Do you think I carry it around? It's like If you poke me in the eye, I will fucking poke you in the ass with a hot stick. And the next day it's gone.
So did you call Simon and say, listen, this is ridiculous. We shouldn't be fighting? And
Simon was the first person that called me when my son was diagnosed. He said, I am here for you.
I thought I was the first.
And I am here for Jack. I called you and told you.
Oh. Well, I was there for you technically the first. It's just that you had to call me.
Always.
Course. Yes.
But
So is Simon's cock now big?
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's absolutely fucking huge. In fact, I think that he is black, painted white.
So once you forgive, you actually take back everything.
Yeah, but it's like, isn't it that way? Why is it? Maybe I'm too old and I'm old school. You fuck me, I'll fuck you twice.
But you see, not everybody feels that way. Bob Greenblatt from NBC probably doesn't feel that way. He takes it seriously.
He takes it personally, but
Of
you're in
course.
this fucking industry. You can't take anything personally.
But some people do. I mean, some people
But
feel...
that's his problem. It's not mine. That's his problem. If you stuff that shit, it's bad. You get rid of it. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's business. And if I'm good for their show...
They should have put everything aside.
Because he runs a company. He's not meant to love everyone you work with. But if you run a company, you have a responsibility to your shareholders. And if they're shareholders, if I make them money and people tune in to watch me, they are schmucks if they don't take me back. But that's their business.
Do you think Howie is going to be back with the show?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Why do you say that?
Because why haven't they called him? What the fuck are they waiting for? Christmas?
Of course,
he claims
Christmas.
that you two never knew until after the beginning of the year.
Bollocks.
He's lying.
No, he's not lying. He's not lying. He's
What
not.
does bollocks mean, lying?
No, bollocks means those things that hang between your dick and your ass.
I don't have anything hanging. It's all so small. It's miniature. So you think Howie's that? So am I going to be the only guy back from last season?
No, Nick.
Oh, of course, Nick.
Nick is fantastic.
He is great.
Howie's fantastic, but I think this is what they're doing. They are playing the waiting game. They are going, as you've seen the letters that have gone to every agent.
I see everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
They are looking for probably 4 judges, and they are looking, and if they can't find anybody who they think is better, they'll call him at the last minute.
Oh, that's terrible.
But that's it. Welcome to the industry, because
Well, that's
the
how
way
it works.
it goes.
You're right. That's how it goes.
That's how it fucking goes. But the thing is, here we are, these people running these corporations, and you can't take it personally. You have an obligation to do the best for your company.
And you did, but you did a great job. You really did. And
I did.
Yeah.
And I forgive them for being arseholes. They should forgive me for having a big mouth.
Do you ever call them and say, I forgive you for being assholes?
Come on.
Right.
What?
Right. Do you ever call them and say, I forgive you for being assholes?
He wouldn't pick up the fucking call. Are you joking? I can't even get on what's his name show.
Who? Tonight Show?
Jay Leno?
Oh, fuck him. I wouldn't.
Oh,
I
well,
wouldn't
who
go
else
on his fucking
Thank you.
show.
Well, it's about fucking time you came out of the closet with that.
I never said I wouldn't. He's a fucking.
You used to go on there all the time.
So it's like, why the long face?